Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor R2. How's it going, Professor?
Oh, it's going okay. I suffered through a terrible movie today,
Oh, I
but
suffered through that movie too.
that's all right. We'll get to other more pleasant things, I'm sure. But yeah, it was overall pretty good day. Pretty good week. Very very busy, but that's just my life right now. So
I understand. By the way, when we
yeah,
talk about that, we're going to invite another guest here. Hopefully, he'll be available to talk with us about that movie. So
yeah.
that'll be interesting. Oh, even as I was preparing this thumbnail earlier, I knew that there was just a million other things happening at the same time.
Oh,
So,
so many things. Yeah,
so
I
many
mean we
things.
apparently peace in the Middle East, maybe.
I,
You know,
I'm usually kind of hesitant about those things.
so am I. So am I. As far as it's like as soon like when the hostages are actually all released, the remains are all released. Like when all of that happens, okay, like we're on our way. But until that happens, I'm like, yeah, Hamas can still back out. It's like
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that a lot of times you have these kind of supposedly like a ceasefire or whatever it is, and even for a while, it could seem like it's okay, but that doesn't mean that there won't be anything else in the future, if you know what I'm trying to say.
yes, yes, and we've already gathered a couple of super chats and one super chat and a gift from Mary White over on YouTube.
Mary White is just amazing. She kind
Isn't
of
she? She's
she
just
went
the
away for a
best.
while and then she came back, and since then she's always been so nice and supportive. And what'd you
Oh,
say?
no, no, I'm sorry, mumbling to myself.
Okay, so she said, gotta run, but here's some gifts before I go. Let me copy this. Oh, I'm sorry that she's not staying, but I do appreciate the gifts. It's very nice of her. Uh,
Absolutely.
I like it even more when she hangs out with us, but I will still really appreciate this thing. Rebecca Gold is here. That's cool. Hey, Ian. I'm surprised you're up at this hour, Ian. What's going on with you?
He's up editing Rebecca Gold, getting the
Ah, I
score
see.
ready and everything, so he can release his film. That's my guess.
It's probably the right guess. But let me see if I can share this thing. So, presentation mode. Mary White said, "Gotta run, but here's some gifts before I go," and that's for $5. Super nice of you. Mary White then sent 10 Price of Reason Live gift memberships, and that's amazing. She was just on another stream and also really generous there and really generous here, and I'm just so happy. I mean, I always say this: I like Mary White regardless of anything, but the fact that then she's also so generous, it's just I can't even like her more than I do, and I'm happy that she's back. And yeah, that's nice to know that Rebecca Gold is editing Rebecca Gold.
Yep. Getting all the music and everything straightened out and getting her released.
Absolutely. And by the way, I wonder if we're the only ones that saw. I know that Istophobos saw that movie, and you and I saw it, but I wonder to myself if anybody else has seen it.
Yeah. I I know there's plenty of reviewers on YouTube that have seen it because they've been absolutely savage in their discussions of it, at least most of them. So yeah, yeah, it was actually the early reviews. I thought it can't actually be as bad as they're saying. Like really, could
I really wish that Ian also saw it, because when we have our conversation about this movie, after we talk about some kind of world issues, when we dig into this movie, it would have been great if, oh, you're going to see it today? That's too bad. You would have been the perfect person to join this panel of ours that we're going to have here, but Nevertheless, you're still going to have a nice panel discussion here.
Yidis says they'll be seeing it tomorrow. Dreading tomorrow. Yeah.
Tex Rogers says, I have no plan to see it. Tex, that is a rather wise. I know you, and I have a feeling that you're not. I'm going to take some liberties here and tell you that I don't think you're going to like it. Davian Donaldson says, I love the previous two Tron films, but I'm definitely not going to watch this new one. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk a little bit more about it, but in a nutshell, I feel like there were so many interesting directions that they could have taken this additional movie in the franchise, and they absolutely didn't do anything interesting, not at all, and that's really unfortunate. But we'll talk about it a little more later. Thank you to Mary White, and now I guess let's talk about some world stuff. First of all, there was a cabinet meeting. It feels like so many things have happened. I don't even remember what was happening in that cabinet meeting today.
Sean Crummell showed up.
Hey,
was he in
Sean's
the
here.
cabinet meeting?
I was not in the cabinet.
Oh, okay. You weren't there. All right. So
Sean is here.
Hey, Sean, glad to have you.
Thanks.
And it was great to see you on Price's show earlier this evening. Watching. Yeah.
I feel so robbed that I couldn't be on so many more of those streams.
People probably are surprised that you're here, Sean. It's been a while. Like, I feel like you went for a long time.
I did. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We still mention you each time.
For those of you who join us here and don't join in on Price's Quantum Leap Revisited, they finished the series today. It took them around 2 years to get through it. They watched the last episode today. They're going to be doing some retrospectives over the next few weeks, going back and looking at each season and talking about their favorite episodes and kind of wrapping up their thoughts on the show overall. So you should definitely join Price just a little bit earlier than this on Thursdays as they finish up watching that show, doing a little retrospective there. I pop in and I actually watch more of them, Price, than I actually am in the chat for. I lurk on more of those than just kind of listening in the background while I'm doing stuff around the house. But
you're always welcome. I mean,
I
know. I always tell you you're welcome to join us, but I know you have other stuff to do with your family, so I understand.
Yeah.
Ooh, your family.
R2
loves his family.
R2 has to go to concerts and perform.
No, it's okay.
Like
we understand. We understand that. By the way, I want to tell you that you know how I told you that there would be a movie this year that may be shown somewhere, and that I did the music for that movie, and that nobody's going to watch the movie?
Yeah.
Well, it happened.
Was it Tron?
It happened and nobody watched it?
It happened and nobody watched it, yeah. It played out pretty much as I suspected, but it did happen this year, so just so you know that.
Okay.
There's a movie out there somewhere that in real life I did something musical that I contributed to it, and nobody watched it.
Is it an indie?
It was let's just put it this way. It wasn't one of those like big, $200 million type of blockbuster situations.
So it was Tron Ares?
That one they spent a lot of money on. It's just a crappy movie, but yeah, that's in any case, that was a little anecdote. I knew it would play out that way. Rebecca Gold should ask me to do music. Oh, he has a composer. He doesn't need me. In any case, the professor, was there a cabinet today? What happened today at the cabinet meeting?
Oh, gosh. I've been awfully busy today. I haven't seen much that happened in the news today.
I think it was something that he didn't like Antifa, and he wants to get rid of Antifa or something.
No, they're definitely working to make sure that they can bring down as much of the leadership and the funding and everything behind Antifa as they can. We continue to see more and more of this, the sending National Guard troops back and forth to different areas. States trying to shut ICE out of their states, which you can't do. It's called the Supremacy Clause, right? The feds can pretty much come in and do whatever they want within certain within certain boundaries, unless Trump has also been discussing potentially saying like, hey, you know what, if I have to, I'll move forward with the Insurrection Act, and then we can use the National Guard for whatever we want. And a lot of people have been crying foul on that, saying, "Oh, you're a tyrant" and all this stuff. And then, they go back and look and like, "Oh, look at all the other times that the Insurrection Act has been used to quell riots and for all of that stuff." There's all these other presidents that have used it over the years. So, wouldn't be something that's necessarily impossible for him to do or out of the norm.
Was that the thing where they were listing like all the
Christian and really just a fascinating individual in the history of our continent?
Sweden and various other countries. We have a lot of people from Sweden, a lot of Scandinavians. This is very important for Scandinavians, and it's a great honor. Okay, and now you have another one that's,
I don't even know what this is. I
This
feel
is
like,
like-
I think, very non-controversial, frankly, but some people would say it's controversial. Go ahead.
This is like Explorer Day for you, sir. Today we have your Columbus Day proclamation for Monday, which we're signing a bit early. Christopher Columbus obviously discovered the New World in 1492. He was a great Italian explorer. He sailed his 3 ships.
He sailed the ocean blue
across the Atlantic Ocean.
I guess they're trying to
and
say here
landed
that
in
they're
what's
not doing
today
the
Caribbean.
World
But this is a
Indigenous Day
particularly
or whatever it's
important,
called.
holiday for Italian Americans who celebrate the legacy of Christopher Columbus and the innovation and explorer zeal that he represented.
In other words, we're calling it Columbus Day.
You know what? A while back, I thought to myself that when Columbus Day comes around, I envisioned that this exact thing was going to happen, and it played out exactly as I envisioned it. To be fair, regardless of Trump, I never liked the idea of taking Columbus Day and making it into Indigenous People Day. I don't care if you want to add a day or do something for Indigenous people. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but I think that this whole tiptoeing around and all this kind of politically correct stuff with Columbus, I thought that was kind of dumb. I mean, Columbus is in like 1492, correct?
Yeah, well, the whole thing, yeah. Oh, the old, that was my joke while it was there. The rhyme, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. That was always the rhyme that we had when we were kids. Back when they required students to learn about history. It's not really a thing anymore. But no, the whole thing with the Indigenous Peoples Day, it's all been about this whole push, this idea that we have to decolonize everything, right? Pushing that, Christopher Columbus, he did all these horrible things to the natives, and they brought all these horrible diseases, and then they brought all the colonizers to the Americas and all this, and it's like, that's not the point. You know what? Yes, there were some people who were part of that did some pretty horrible things.
It's
right?
1492, dude. You understand that the world in 1492 was a very different world.
Exactly. We're
It's
not.
it's just more of celebrating an idea, and I think to go back and start saying, well, if you take a lens of like 2025 and look at what happened in 1492, people in 2025 have issues with stuff that happened in 1492. I think that sounds really stupid. Any historical figure that we look through that lens and look this way, we're going to have something to say, no?
Exactly. It's this presentism that these people want to put on everything. They want to look back, and they want to look at everything that has happened in history and judge it by the values that they have today, based on the science that we have today, based on the learning that we've done since then, based on all of the different changes that we have had, based on the Enlightenment and the spread of classical liberalism and all of these things, the way that we have changed. They want to use all of that, including all of the crazy stuff, like I said, like the decolonize, all of these institutions and stuff. They want to take all of that and use that to try and judge people from completely different times when they had completely different values, a completely different understanding of the world. And yeah, you know what? A lot of them people were really damn racist, okay? It was at the time they literally, they believed that, a lot of people with different skin colors were actually subhuman. They literally believed that. We know better today, right? And yes, they did some awful things. We can acknowledge that while still at the same time celebrating the fact that people like Columbus and the other explorers of the time were risking life and limb to explore the world and discovered parts of the world that were not known to the cultures of the time. Yes, there were some indigenous peoples here, but it wasn't known by the Western world at the time, and so they were expanding our understanding of the world, and that deserves to be celebrated. It's rather silly to
I,
just say,
I,
well, he was an awful guy. We should celebrate indigenous people. You know
I,
what indigenous people did?
Kill each other.
They killed each other, and they killed each other a lot, and they fought over land, and unfortunately, some of them engaged in some pretty awful practices as well. So
yeah, I
you
mean,
can't just say that, oh well, because they were indigenous, they were in some way better.
I'm gonna now shock you. Even there's some like kind of philosophers in Greece and like scientists and whatever, we talk about those sometimes, really like romanticize some of these figures in their own private lives. Some very strange and naughty things were going on in Greece during that time.
Oh, absolutely. That they were very much like a very debauched culture that had a lot of uh, kind of a laissez-faire opinion about like kind of do whatever you want if it makes you feel good, kind of a thing.
Right.
Hedonism,
They
we
had a
would call
very
it
different
later.
approach. That would even, sometimes you could include that kind of approach in some PDF files, if you understand what I mean. And
Yep.
nobody said anything. Their culture was a very, very strange culture to us, but still, those kind of people, those scholars or whatever, for whatever their contributions are, some of these things are still celebrated today. Not because we think that maybe on a personal level we agree with what they did, you know, during those periods of times, but at the same time, we're living almost in a different reality. It's fine to commemorate that a guy came and discovered America. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't think we can hold the guy to the standards of today. I think it's stupid. I also don't like it when they do that with George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, and they're like, "Oh, do you know that he did this? Do you know that he did that?" It's like, listen, this is hundreds of years ago. It's a different world. Even, and recently I mentioned this to you, even like Aunt Jemima, when they changed the name because it was created in the 1800s, okay? And the people that created it, the reason that they supposedly called it Aunt Jemima is they're like, oh, they used to see minstrel shows and they were influenced by that, so they wanted her to be there on their syrup. It's like, man, this is a lot of weird shit for me to think about something that happened in the 1800s and get offended now in 2025 or 2020 or whatever that was. And another thing, they're like, oh, those terrible men in the 1800s, they thought that this lady, this diverse woman, she needed to be in the kitchen and make pancakes. It's like, if you're a woman in the 1800s, they probably thought that every woman should be in the kitchen making pancakes. I assume, okay? I'm
Pretty
not saying that
much.
I'm not saying that is what you do in 2020 or 2025 or whatever it is, but in the 1800s, if you're a woman, I pretty much think that whoever is married to you expects that you're going to be in the kitchen cooking something. You could say it's not nice of you to say that, how dare you, and all that, but that's the truth. That's what it would be like. We can't change that, and the fact that people want to keep changing history and doing all this stuff, it's just ridiculous.
Yep. They want to rewrite history, and that is well, I'll just say it. That is part of how communism does things.
Sounds
They go
forgivable.
back and they rewrite history in certain ways to turn bad guys into good guys into bad guys. They change all of this history so that they can try and control you. They can try and control your perception of our historical foundation of various different ideals and of our country. That's what they do.
Do you
That's
ever
how
wonder?
they.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you ever wonder how many times that's already happened? I see us as like a species with amnesia, and seeing how easy it is to corrupt history. I'm always like, how many times have we done this before, and we just don't know where we come from because of it?
and now all you have to do, Yitis in the YouTube chat says this is how you get black Shakespeare. Yeah, they've done this in different popular entertainment programs and stuff like that, where they've replaced people. They've changed the racial makeups of communities, historical communities and stuff, so that they can make you think, oh look, the past was so perfect. It looked just like LA today. It's made up of all these different colors of people. And there's so many people who are gay. No, that was not what history looked like. I'm
Yeah, it's
sorry.
like
That was
it's like that when they did that show recently for the BBC where one of their queens was black in the show.
Anne Boleyn. I think they made
Anne Boleyn, whatever it was. Why would Anne Boleyn ever be black? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's not, and people are like, you're just being an Islamophobe. It's not a matter of being an Islamophobe. It doesn't make sense from a from a historical perspective. Let me see if I can find that. And it's of course it's that Jodie Turner Smith actress.
Yes. What have I seen her in recently?
We saw her today in that terrible movie, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that soon enough.
And then and the Acolyte too. Yes.
Oh,
yes, she's the meme. She's the yes girl.
Star Wars is such a patriarchy.
Let me see if I can find this thing. I have to show you. So this is that show
Nailed
that they
it.
did with Anne Boleyn.
What's
They actually
problem?
made a show. They made a show that this was Anne Boleyn, and I don't understand why they thought that people would like it. And they're like, people just aren't open-minded. That's why they didn't want to watch the show. Or maybe this is just as stupid and ridiculous. It's you can't literally rewrite history and pretend it's something different.
Oh, and they made the one with Cleopatra that made her black when she was a Phoenician Greek, Egyptian Greek. Like she was not black.
No, she wasn't.
All the history says she was not black, but they're no, I'm going to listen to my grandma. She told me that she was black. So it's just ridiculous.
Tex Rogers says perhaps it's people just are accuracy minded. Yeah, I mean, it's just there's only so much you can suspend disbelief, and really, it's fine. I understand if there's a new show that you're doing about a group of police officers, and if you walked into the precinct and they were all white, that would be strange in 2025 if you're doing a contemporary show about a precinct and they're all the same color, especially if you're like in New York or something like that. It doesn't make any sense. That's not how it looks, and it doesn't come off as realistic. But if you're doing something where you're doing Anne Boleyn, that's not the same thing. You have to be realistic. It's the same thing that if there was some kind of a movie about like stuff happening in Africa hundreds of years ago and all the people would be white, that would be strange as well. Like, you have to be reasonable here. Anyhow, I never watched this series. Good job I didn't. I don't think anybody watched it, and I think that was the problem, that for some reason they thought that people are going to watch this, and the second they didn't, they started like accusing them of being terrible people. But it's like, people can decide how they want to spend their time, and most people look at a poster for this show and think to themselves, nope. That's pretty much the thing. Like that was my instinct when I looked at it. I'm like, no, not even one frame of this I'm not watching. So yeah, that's all I can say. Tex Rogers says bye. Is he saying bye to me? I don't know who he said bye to. Let me see. In any case, let me. You were talking about Black Panther, Professor.
Birdhouse said, well, at least Wakanda is real, right? And I said, oh, yeah, yes, yeah, a prosperous, futuristic black ethno-state where they still pick their leader through trial by combat. Totally exists, yes.
Totally, and they refuse to share their technology with the world. In any case, this thing was ridiculous, and there's two problems here. One, this is ridiculous. Two, this actress, I don't know why they're always trying to make her a thing. It's like they wanted her to be Anne Boleyn, they wanted her to be in The Acolyte, they wanted to be in Tron Ares. It's as if sometimes Disney just takes over, decides that there's some kind of actress, usually in the diverse category, and they're like, we got to put this actress in everything. And I don't really understand that strategy. I mean, shouldn't the actress be good and well liked before you put her in all of your movies, regardless of the color of it, color or anything like that? Shouldn't it be an actress that's actually good and people like her?
Don't they do that with different actors for they've been doing that forever? They would do that with Jai Courtney or whatever, or Sam Worthington or whatever.
I guess.
Try to force someone.
Maybe Jodie Turner-Smith is the new Jai Courtney.
They try to do it with Pedro. Pedro's in freaking everything.
Yeah, they tried to do that with Pedro too, and that didn't work out well.
Sorry, Pedro. What, why did I say pedo Pascal? I don't know. Pedro Pascal. Yes.
I asked Stevie Wonder. This is silly, but I'll put it up. Double R Star says, I asked Stevie Wonder what it's like to be blind. He replied, at least I'm not black.
I think I've heard that one.
I'm at the risk of boring. I probably bore everybody when I say stuff like this, that I once met Stevie Wonder many years ago. Seemed really nice.
Would he recognize you today?
He probably would. I assume that he would.
He's like, I know that voice.
That joke just reminds me of that sketch from Chappelle's Show with the black man who's a racist.
That is a classic. That is absolutely a classic.
That was hilarious. I died laughing when I saw that.
Oh man, that most every episode of that show, I was on the floor in tears laughing. Just so funny, amazing.
I agree.
That was the press that broke out in applause. Can you believe that? I've never seen that happen before. The press actually broke out. The amazing thing is all of the countries over there, from Qatar to Saudi Arabia to UAE to all of them, I mean, the rich ones, the less than rich ones, they've all come together, something which is amazing, actually. They've all come together for this, and they're really probably the best relationships they've ever had. So it's been really something incredible that nobody thought it was possible to get it done. And very importantly, the hostages are coming back. As you know, they consider them hostages. They talk about them as hostages, but there are approximately 28 dead people, mostly young, mostly men, but and boys. I mean, boys. The one woman talked about her baby. Her baby's 25 years old, but to her it's her baby, and we're bringing them home. We're getting them to
I mean, I'll believe more when I see that those people are released, because
exactly.
Sometimes when you're dealing with the type of people, the people that are holding those hostages, it's a complicated situation. I really hope that the hostages get released. I kind of. It would have been helpful if they would have been released a long time ago, but won't start getting into all of that. Hopefully this thing can happen. I don't know what'll happen down the road or how long, whatever, if there's any kind of ceasefire, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know how long these things last, but if at least you could return these hostages, I think that would be a good situation.
What you've done was invaluable. CIA, John Radcliffe, and he's done an incredible job. So I want to thank you all, and if I'm missing anybody,
I'm trying to find the one about Antifa.
Other countries are a bigger problem because they've been getting a subsidized rate. We've been paying for years. This has gone on
I'm just skipping
countries
around
to
because it
go
won't
buy
let me
their
do it faster. He's talking
pharmaceuticals
for
where
like
they
an
make
hour.
journeys to various other countries
Mhm.
and Social Security. But anything where there's pharmaceuticals, drugs involved, it's going to have a tremendous impact. Reported in the past. So
It's so
the
funny
radical
how everything,
Democrats
it's
have
like
chosen to put the
he has
economy
his
to
way
our
of
country. We
talking,
have the best
and he will
economy
talk
we've
that
ever
way
had.
always.
We had the
Mhm.
best economy in my first term, but we have an economy that's blowing it away.
It's like you know what he's gonna say, and you're gonna know exactly how he's gonna say it. It's the best. You've never seen anything like it. Like he just does
It's
it.
gonna
Doesn't
be
care.
it's gonna be huge.
It's gonna be
I was
huge.
leading the Democrats. You have this AOC. I don't know her at all, but I watched her the other day. She said, "Well, if they want, they could come to my office." That's not leadership, you know. The only one that challenged her actually was Nancy Pelosi. And Nancy's not looking too good. I don't know what happened to Nancy, but she's not looking great. But she was the only one. I give her credit. She was the only one that challenged her. But AOC said that they can come to her office and negotiate. The Republicans, and we're saying, "Oh, I didn't know she was in leadership," but she's taking Hakeem Jeffries' place, and Schumer's afraid that she's going to run against him. And right now, I don't know. It can change. Life is crazy, right? But right now, he can't beat. I don't think he can beat anybody. So he'll lose in a primary. I would say he'll retire before he loses in a primary. So I think Schumer's going to retire because he can't beat anybody. His polls are so bad. Meanwhile, the Democrats shut down
You
is
see his
causing
balls
pain
are
and
so bad?
suffering for hardworking Americans, including our military, our air traffic controllers, and impoverished mothers, people with young children, people that have to live here. I watched her the other day saying the election was very close. I said, no, the election was a landslide. We won the popular vote by
Yes,
millions
the
coming in,
electoral and
and
whatever.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't say it's an even trade. While the other side is focused on playing games, the Trump administration is focused on creating jobs, bringing down. But this place is really dangerous
I thought he
for
was going to
law
talk about
enforcement and
Antifa.
National Guard to restore public safety,
Okay.
and we're working to replicate that in numerous places all over the country. And we have a very powerful military. We have a very powerful National Guard. I want to thank the governor of Texas, who has been.
We had ATF, DEA. Streets.
Oh,
But yet we've made 562 arrests and still going strong in Memphis. Just what we did in DC. But it's because it's all of us. It's a team working for you to make America safe all together around the
Thank you
clock.
very much. Thank you, Pam.
Thank
You're doing
you,
a great
President
job.
Trump.
And it's amazing that we're not getting cooperation from Democrats. It's like it's a new issue. You know, we have all the old issues of the wall and the border and all of the things, men playing in women's sports who they still want that, transgender for everybody. All these issues are so crazy, but we have a new one. It's called crime. We stop crime and they allow crime. They want crime. It doesn't make sense. I think it's as ridiculous as the other things that we talk about all the time. But I've added it onto our list of 5
Streets. And then I was in Portland, went out and back on Tuesday and met with the governor, met with the mayor, met with the chief of police and the superintendent of the highway patrol. They're all lying and disingenuous and dishonest people because as soon as you leave the room, then they make the exact opposite response. So we're looking at new facilities to purchase. They're in Portland too, and we're going to double down. And I told them if they didn't meet our demands for safety and security on the streets and work with us, then we were going to.
And we're doing that anyway, regardless of if he doesn't want it or if he does want it, we're doing it anyway. So
I'm trying to see if there's anything
It really
else.
began with your trip to the Middle East, where these relationships were forged with partners in the region in the modern era.
from the press. Go ahead, please.
President Trump, I just want to double down on what Marco was sharing. It's such a remarkable accomplishment. Agree that no other president could have done this, but what set the groundwork for you able to do that? When you took office on January 20th, you made a 180-degree turn in our military strength with Pete's leadership.
What Marco said, it is a personal honor to be able to.
I just wanted to hear the
We have
answer. I
record
understand that
numbers
they're
of
all very
recruitment.
happy with
1
each
year
other.
ago, there were stories, front page stories, that we couldn't get anybody to join the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard.
Vested a lot of authority in Steve Witkoff in particular, and that's why we're here. It's because you did something different, and I think it's doing so much better if Chuck Schumer did his job and opened the government.
Very positive things, actually.
Mr. President, I'm glad you're getting bipartisan accolades on the Mideast peace
This poor
agreement.
guy
You should
has
also get
always-
bipartisan accolades on the MFN agreement. It is
I always
historic.
feel bad for him.
That's going to benefit every hardworking American.
It's hard for him to get a
It's going
word
to
out.
lower the price of drugs for every American. And you did it 0.6 times.
I'm wondering.
So great. And some other things. But I would say don't take Tylenol if you're pregnant. And when you think that 20,000 drops to 12 children, want me to? They have asked me to do that. That have lived in hell like nobody has ever even dreamt possible. And after that, we'll see. But they've agreed to things and making it as good as possible. He knows the region, knows the people.
I don't see anything special. I'm hoping that they'll do something with Antifa, but I don't know what. I thought that was the reason they were meeting, but it turned out to be something else, I guess.
I saw something on X. They were listing out the benefactors to Antifa, and like George Soros and a bunch of people and groups were listed, and including taxpayers. So I don't know if that's maybe what you're thinking about.
Yeah, sorry, Estephobos. We were watching it because I thought that there was a part that he's addressing the whole Antifa thing. I tried. Oh, that was yesterday? Sorry, then I don't know why we looked at this thing. I thought there was more substance in that meeting, and I tried to skip through it. My apologies for people who fell asleep during that segment. But I think we got the main idea of the things that he talked about, even though I skipped through it and it was an hour. I did it like in 10 minutes, and I think we got the main idea. The Antifa roundtable is Wednesday. Okay, that's interesting. Trump, Antifa.
Yeah, I've got one I can share here.
Okay, cool. Then I wish.
So this was during the meeting yesterday. There were a number of different journalists there, different people. This is specifically Nick Shirley, who's talking about some of his experiences.
I've watched people be bussed in from.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, my name's Nick Shirley. I'm 23 years old. I'm a 100% independent YouTube journalist. And over the past year or so, I've been able to go to 15 countries. I've hung out with people in the gangs of Brazil, in the favelas, in the prisons of Secot. But yet the most dangerous places I have been here in the United States, unfortunately. And I've had the opportunity to show people about the protest Antifa here in the United States, and there's nothing organic about what they are doing here in the United States. I've watched people be bussed in from states. I've watched the same lady at a protest in Atlanta be bused to the protest in D.C. and then in New York City. There's nothing that is honest about what they are doing. And they have signs. I've seen the same signs here in D.C. and in London as well. It's a big organization and corporation that they're running. And people may wonder, like, what's the threat to us as Americans if we go? Well, you'll be labeled as a fascist, you'll be labeled as a Nazi, and they'll wish death upon you because they wish death upon me. And just last week in Portland, Oregon, I watched a lady get trapped in her car, surrounded by Antifa, and her sister messaged me after seeing the video. She said, the only reason I think my sister was safe is because you were there recording. I also was chased out by a member of Antifa who said he would smoke me. And next thing he knew, a DHS sniper had lasers on his chest. If he was not there, who knows what would have happened that day. These people are very dangerous, and people wonder how they're able to do it. It's the reason is because these cities are not enforcing the law. And why should these people be worried if the law is not being enforced? And we are not far right, nor are we far wrong. We're just right. And the truth about what's happening here in America with these groups is very dangerous, and I thank you, Mr. President, and your administration as well for acknowledging that.
Thank you very much. It's too bad you have to go through it.
I know, it's a little crazy,
much.
right, Mr. President?
Well, you're going to get to the bottom of it, so it's a very important thing you're doing. Thank you very much.
By the way, there was something else. Oh, Letitia James. Did you see that she's getting charged? That there was the grand jury thing?
Yes. Yeah.
And then she did a video that she's whining about it. I mean, honestly, you can't do what this lady did and then be surprised when the same people do the same thing to her. Like,
I mean, yeah. That's, you know, she chased down tiny little infractions that most businesses would never have to deal with. No one would ever have to, you know, worry about anything. And you know, it's like, well, okay, so we're going to go look in your financial records and find little things that often might be brushed off, and we're going to charge you with those. So yeah, she's facing issues with financial with fraud, bank fraud or something like that from claims that she made on some of her loan applications or something.
is there a video response from her today?
Might be. Did you want to watch any more of this Antifa stuff, or we can move on to something?
No,
else?
we can move on. It's fine.
Okay.
There's Antifa. They're going to look into it.
Okay. We do have I think we do have a couple of super chats we need to cover.
Okay,
One's
okay,
a little bit older, one is just happened.
I see the Dead Man gave us a few, and Istophobos gave us one.
Yep.
And I'm going to now share those. Istophobos is going to be joining us when we do that panel. Just letting everybody know. People like Istophobos, and we like him too.
Do we?
I like him.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, you're right. You're right. We do.
You forgot.
Okay, so the Dead Man says, I suffered through Annabelle Comes Home today. I didn't see that movie. I watched Beetlejuice 2 today and actually thought it was funny. I'll tell you what, the Dead Man. I think I gave it a passing grade, but for me, Beetlejuice 2 was a disappointment. It didn't have the charm of the first movie, and I felt that I was happy to see Michael Keaton, and he was in pretty good form, and I enjoyed that. But the movie itself at the end kind of it doesn't capture the kind of special, unique atmosphere of the first one exactly. There's a lot of stupid things that happen in that movie. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen out of all these kind of remakes, requels, prequels, soft reboots. It's not the worst one, but it's also nothing that I felt like revisiting again afterwards. And Estefobos says everyone should read Annie Ngo's Antifa BLM book. I'm sure it's good. I haven't read it. And by the way, Dead Man $1.99 and then $4.99, and then Estefobos $2. So just wanted to go over that. And yeah, the thing with Letitia James, I was trying to find if she had a response because I know that there was a grand jury thing and they indicted her. Because everybody's sharing stuff today, and it's mainly stuff she said in the past and makes her look stupid now. But I wonder if did she say anything today?
She did. There was a response. I'm looking to find it. Yeah, a lot of people just posting old stuff that she said, like no one's above the law and all of that stuff.
Maybe this is
which
the
is
thing
rather
that
hilarious.
Maybe, people were looking at. Let me see if it's this thing. Trying to find a response. Okay, let's see if it's this thing.
But if faith and fear cannot share the same space. So today I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
What is this lady talking about?
It sounds like she's scared.
It sounds like she's scared. Yeah, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then people were sharing all this like nobody is above the law.
No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law. And it is my responsibility and my duty and my job to enforce it. The law is both powerful and fragile. And today in court, we will prove our case. I thank you all for being here. And again, justice will prevail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't exactly happen like she said. I don't know. What's this one? This is from February 24th.
Representing our respective states, stand up and enforce the rule of law. The President of these United States is not above the law.
No matter how rich, powerful, or politically connected you are, everyone must play by the same rules.
Please sue him for us.
Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the.
And now the Trump Justice Department may be a pain in her you-know-what. The Angle has obtained shocking allegations leveled by the Trump administration against New York Attorney General Letitia James. The Federal Housing Finance Agency has sent a criminal referral to the DOJ accusing James of mortgage fraud. In a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Director Bill Pulte says James appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. He cited a property in Virginia that she's allegedly claimed as her principal residence and a property in New York that she claimed as a 4-unit structure instead of the required, instead of a 5, which Pulte says means she was able to get a different type.
I mean, normally this is all kind of nitpicky, but since she was nitpicky, then she really doesn't, have the right to say anything. That's what happens when you want to be nitpicky over every stupid little thing. You can't be surprised later when, people do that to you.
I'm ready. I've been trained by the best. I went to Howard University that overturned legal segregation in this country. I've been taught in those classrooms where Thurgood Marshall once taught.
Why is she so
Afraid
yelly?
of no president. Donald Trump, we're ready for you. We're coming for you. We're standing up for you. We're fighting on. We're not going down silent. Victory, my friends, is clear. It's now. And I'm not waiting 4 years. I'm waiting 2 until a speaker by the name of Hakeem Jeffries comes to bring us some rest. Come on, ladies. It's up to us. We saved this democracy before. We'll save it now. Let's go.
Why does she sound like Hitler?
She's really shrill and awful. Isfos was saying that he sent you a message
All right,
with
we've got
the.
some breaking news that we want to get to. This is out of Virginia. Possible criminal charges being weighed right now against New York Attorney General Letitia James. Joining us now, MSNBC senior investigative correspondent Carol Lenig. All right, we've got some breaking news.
What'd you say?
Oh, I was gonna say Isfos sent you the actual response that she made today, but I've also got it pulled up over here.
Okay, so you share it.
Okay, so this was the response. This was posted just earlier today.
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties.
She's trying to
His
sound
decision to
dramatic.
fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is
Not so
blindly
yelly
loyal
now.
not to the law, but to the president, is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country. This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice.
And yet her voice is
I
still
stand strongly
just as
behind my
annoying.
office's litigation against the Trump organization. We conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics. Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his 2 sons are liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job.
She's a terrible actress.
She's
Terrible.
awful. Yeah, she's worried. She's very worried.
I honestly know very little about what's going on, but I already do not like her based on her voice.
Yeah, and she did. She lost the appeal on this. Oh, it stands. No, it went to appeal and you lost. So actually, here's let's see, there's another video here. Let's see, where did I have this? Yeah, so this is a bunch of videos of Letitia James. She's talking about how there was nothing involved. There were no politics, right? It was just about making sure that the law was upheld and no one is above the law, whatever. She said on numerous occasions that she was specifically going to use her position to go after Trump. That was part of her platform for getting the job as AG in New York. So.
Will you sue him for us? Oh, we're gonna definitely sue him. We're gonna be a real pain in the ass.
I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president.
We need to focus on Donald Trump. We need to follow his money. What is fueling my soul right now is Trump.
This illegitimate president. I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day, suing him, and then going home.
Will you sue him?
Yeah. So she from the very start, it was political for her. From the very start, there is absolutely no air of legitimacy whatsoever about the investigations that she helped push forward.
No, I mean the kind
Trump
of
and his
stuff,
organization. It's absurd.
the kind of stuff that she tried to go after Trump, it was so kind of. There wasn't anything special there. It's like, oh, he said this building that, he said this building that. It was stuff that's like, it's not a big deal. Now, honestly, I don't really even care that much what she did or didn't do with her mortgage, but I'm saying that if she's going to go and take a former president that was like about to run and start dropping all these weird cases on him, and there's just like stupid crap that the bank didn't even want anything to do with it. It was just some nonsense. And if she did all that, and she thought that was great, and like you said, all for political reasons, if now that's being done to her, I don't have any sympathy for her. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. You did this. You started this thing, and if somebody's doing that now and putting you in the hot seat, then maybe in this specific case you kind of deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the other thing is, if you're going to be that type of person that wants to like dig into people's pockets and see if they ever made a mistake and all this kind of stuff, you better be squeaky clean. If you're going to do all of that and file all those charges and do all that stuff, you better be a person that's never done anything wrong ever. Because like, you can't go and start doing all these things against a president, and then it turns out that you're doing those things.
So there's a number of documents that have been published already. This is one of them. This is part of the mortgage, one of the mortgage applications in New York. You can see here, mortgage has been, set up with these people signing it in the presence of this person, and here they say, there's the people who signed it. Robert James and Letitia James, his wife. Letitia James isn't married. That's her dad. So they lied on this mortgage application. Plain as day.
Mm-hmm. Case closed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's plenty of other stuff, but this one right here, like, she is not married. So that is her dad that signed on there, signed as a married couple. Not how it works.
Seems like
right?
an Elon Omar type of situation.
Yeah. She also, she had two different residences that she claimed as her primary residence. So one of those, that you get different rates for primary versus a secondary, home. You get different rates for those types of things. If it's primary residence, usually you get a little bit more favorable, favorable rates on those types of things. And so it's just these little tricks that they play to be like, oh, well, you can lie on that. You can get a better rate, or you can, instead of saying you've got 5 bedrooms in the home, you can say you've only got 4 bedrooms. So you get better rates on it, whatever. Like there's all sorts of little tricks and stuff that you can do that technically are all illegal. You are skirting the system. You are going to the bank and telling them one thing and then doing something else. Now, when you look at the stuff that happened with Trump, yeah, there were some of these where he was like, oh, my building is worth this much or whatever. And so he got these loans from these banks. But the banks themselves came back to the court and said, we don't trust those numbers. We do our own estimates. We look at things and we make our own estimates of what those numbers are. Whatever the numbers were that he claimed don't actually matter. And it also doesn't matter because he paid back all of our loans. He paid back all the money with interest, right? Like we would have done business with him. Even if he falsified, said that this property was worth a little bit more, because we've done business with him before and he always pays back his loans. He's reliable. So it's hilarious. They did this. And that's why when it went to appeal, we saw that video of the judges in the appellate court shredding the district attorney that they sent to that appellate court. That it wasn't, Letitia James didn't go. She sent somebody junior to her. And those appellate judges shredded those people that she sent because they're like, no one was harmed. Show me the law somewhere where you do this and you turn this, these little things into this huge package of this federal crimes and stuff like that. And then there's actually no party that was harmed here.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
There was no party that was harmed. It was just some stupid thing. And like I said, it kind of reminds me also of that show, The Wire, when it's like, if you come at the king, you best not miss, or whatever that is. I feel like if you're going to do that to a president, you better have something to really bring him to court with. You can't just do all that kind of lawfare and then end up coming up with nothing. And that's basically what she did. And now she's surprised. She's like, oh, I'm fearless. I'm going to be fearful. I'm going to be fearless. It's like, lady, I don't really care at this point. You did this exact thing. Basically, people are just giving you a taste of your own medicine now. And like Istafobos said here in the chat, that she probably did something more wrong than he did if these papers are accurate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That did not look like someone who was confident. That did not look like somebody who
she wasn't yelling, so we know she wasn't confident.
Was not worried about this particular outcome. She clearly knows that what has happened is serious, and she knows, most likely, I would bet that she knows that she did do something wrong. She did falsify stuff on those applications. So
yeah, I think she knows, and the only way I can say it is all the other times she had this kind of girl boss vibe, or yelly, as Sean said, like, we can do. That's what she sounded like in all the rest. Now she's like whispering. She's like, I am not fearful. I am fearless. I am this and that. It's like
she's
suddenly
also trying
she's
to
like
be dramatic too.
Yeah, now suddenly she's like performing at the West End in London. I don't know what, like, she switched from Medea goes to the cookout or something to like West End in London.
Well, she's got that I'm the victim voice going now. And
right.
And I'm gonna be triumphant even though I'm in serious crap.
Jim Noxious says all those rich fuckers break the law. Sorry, Sean. Finally, people are saying sorry, Sean, and you're actually here. You get so many sorries every time.
I like the nights that I have to work, I walk around and I think about it sometimes. I'm like, I hope they're still saying it. It makes me laugh.
There's people sitting around saying sorry, Sean, to me right now.
Right. No,
while I'm cleaning up this popcorn and all this.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean is a term like everybody knows, and I don't know, but that's what's funny, that you're here to get the apologies, which is such a rarity.
Yeah.
CC Karaoke, sorry. CC
Hey,
Karaoke is interesting. He listens to our show, but rarely ever says anything. He's like a quiet listener of our show. By the way, CC, you're welcome to join us if you ever feel like it.
Do you still go on his and do karaoke?
He's been doing other stuff. He doesn't do as much of those karaoke things as he did in the past.
Gotcha.
But and Six is here too. It's nice to see everybody here.
all streaming in.
In any case, is there anything else in the kind of current political thing that I missed before we hop into that Tron Ares thing?
into the muck and mire that is.
Oh, so you liked it?
Let's see. Not that I was thinking of. Like I said, that there is the peace deal. We are hoping that if everything goes forward, it sounds like, actually, here, I'll share this real quick. We can take a look at this and kind of finish up that discussion here. So we have Trump saying that everything's moving well and that actually he is going to be there in Egypt on Sunday in person for the signing of this, this ceasefire deal that's going to involve the return of hostages and the gradual, pullback of all the troops, Israeli troops from Gaza and so on. So, sounds like that is potentially that the first phase of that's going to start on Monday after the signing of this on Sunday. So, I mean, this is very promising, and we've already now had numerous people who have nominated Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, which I know just irks the people on the left because they genuinely, that for them, the Nobel Peace Prize, that's their thing. That only belongs to people on the left, right? To allow someone like Donald Trump to be nominated or potentially even win a Nobel Peace Prize, I don't think he'll win. The people that actually do the Nobel Peace Prize are hardcore leftist. I don't think there's any chance he'd win it. But just the whole idea, I think, just pisses some people on the left off that he would even be nominated for it. So
yeah, I don't
this
know.
is moving forward. We'll have to wait and see what happens over the weekend. Again, I'm skeptical. Anytime that Hamas is involved, they can back out and change their minds and start saying different stuff at any point. There's been numerous different things that have happened where they've said, yeah, we're going to release hostages, and then they don't, and whatever. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll, hopefully something does happen. I do want this, this war to come to an end over there. I do want, something to happen over there to try and help bring some peace. Hopefully doing something over there is going to help and remove Hamas from, from control over there. But, yeah, I don't know.
I like what Caleb Levine is saying. They gave Obama the Peace Prize. He holds the world record for drone kills.
They gave Obama the Peace Prize after he had been in office for like 3 months.
He did nothing. He did absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. It was just a, hey, we're going to give it to you because you're Obama. Right. It was absurd. He did nothing to get that. And Trump may have brokered a historic peace deal, and they probably won't give it to him.
I was like, I recognize that walking butt.
And the dancing puppet.
The only thing is that it's a bit like distracting the loops over and over again, although I do like them.
It's a little smoother. Do you want me to change it? I can change it.
I think that if there's too much movement there, people are going to look at the lady with the ass and not listen to our review.
I mean, I think the ass is more interesting than Tron Ares.
That is true. That is true. But if you have like something like a frozen image of the ass lady and maybe me not dancing around.
Oh,
that's very funny.
I'm doing like a Pillsbury Doughboy or whatever it is there.
Oh man, you dancing's my favorite one. But yes, I have. I should have the big one here. Let's see. Just with the
High Price and Professor and Sean. I'm not allowed to say anything else. Not sure what that means.
Are you being held hostage?
Like nobody's stopping you. But yeah, I guess maybe.
He's got a shot collar on, and Hassan Piker has the remote.
I see. I didn't know that David Costner was Hassan's dog.
Yeah.
In any case,
God, that guy. You know what? Like I said, I don't like to work blue. I don't like to swear on stream. That guy is one piece of shit. I cannot stand Hassan Piker. He is a garbage human being, and I cannot understand why anyone still listens to anything he has to say.
He has a huge audience, right? Like
he does.
Like who are they? Like 12-year-old idiots or something?
And he's quite literally made terroristic threats. He's platformed terrorists on his stream, and he's allowed to continue to do stuff on Twitch. It's disgusting. And yeah, he also abuses animals.
He does have some followers here, but sometimes I feel like at least some of his followers live in a puddle in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Abusing animals is one of the first signs of your being a psychopath.
Absolutely. And
he's he abuses animals.
Tried to make excuses. He isn't doing this. It didn't happen. It's all a lie. People saw that he had that collar on his neck.
We saw the collar. He showed the collar on stream. People were able to go and look up the collar and find what it was. He said, "Oh, it vibrates." BS. It shoots electricity, shocks the dog, and can be set to an extremely high level. He uses that dog as a prop sitting in the back, and if that dog even moves while he's trying to do his stream, he turns around and he hits a button and shocks the living hell out of that dog. And there was somebody showing some frames of some stuff where you could see him moving around, and he was, because the dog was misbehaving, and there are some frames where it looks like he's squaring up to get ready to punch the dog, but he doesn't because he realizes he's on camera.
Yeah, there are no vibrating collars that are made for dogs. They do make smaller ones, but
he's a serial animal abuser, and I
wish we could rescue that dog. I wish there was a way to save that dog. I feel bad for it.
If he's abusive to his girlfriends, he abuses his dog. Guaranteed. That's
what it seems like. Let's see for a second. How do I... Oh, sorry, guys. I was looking for the Tron Ares thing.
Ooh.
Tron Arse.
Yeah, it's like... I was calling it Tronless since, it had little to do with Tron.
There's no Tron here.
Actually, they could have made it in a different universe. They could have made a new IP if they wanted to tell that story. The only thing it had in common was the idea that, inside the computer is another sort of world or universe.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically,
Tron
we saw, I guess Sean didn't. Oddly, Sean, I would have thought that you would see it, but you didn't see it.
It opened today. We had like 20 people show up for the first 3 shows.
Which is probably not good, right?
It's not very good. There was 1 in the 3D showing, 15 at most in the first showing, and then I think 4 for the next.
I was in the theater that was huge screen. Maybe it was IMAX. I don't even know. There was like huge, and I feel like there were 2 other people there. It was a really big theater, and it was only 2 other people.
Well, it was a real bad sign. So
what?
Plato.
No, last month it was tracking for like 44 million. But usually in the last 3 weeks is when they do their big marketing push and spend, the majority of that 125 million that they're going to spend. But after the push, the tracking didn't change at all. It was still 45 million domestic, as of Wednesday, which means all of the money they spent on marketing didn't change a single thing in terms of box office projections. So
nothing.
The people that wanted to see it already got their tickets, and those are the only people. So this thing's probably front loaded as hell, and it'll probably have like a 90% hold next Friday. Or
what was the budget on it? Remind 10%.
Me. Well, they're saying 180 million, but they're lying.
They're lying, and then by the time you do the marketing,
we can see numbers for pre-sales, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're not looking good, unless they get a lot of walk-ups, which I kind of doubt. It's not doing well.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like it's doing well. It'll need to make. It's one of those movies that'll need to make like, 400 over 400 at the box office just to break even, and I don't see it happening. The thing that really baffled me is I think that Tron Legacy was not a bad movie. I mean, I understand that some people didn't like it that much or some people were just okay with it. I actually rather enjoyed it. It wasn't the worst thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And I thought
Yeah.
it was a good setup for another chapter that probably they should have made years ago. And for some reason, maybe they didn't think that movie made enough money for them. I don't think it lost money, but maybe it didn't make enough money for them. So they kind of dragged their feet. But if you were going to drag your feet, then just don't do the movie anymore.
Well, I heard that they did that thinking it would be huge, and then it wasn't, so they decided to buy Star Wars because they just wanted a boy audience.
Yeah,
and then
Tron's
they turned
always
that into a girl brand.
Yeah.
And lost the boy audience.
And they turned this thing into a girl brand too, actually.
Oh,
They
yes,
did indeed.
The thing is, Tron has always been niche. It was never a huge box office thing. It was
Nope.
always a niche, like
Cult,
with a loyal
yeah.
cult following, but not that big. And yeah, well, are we going to do spoilers?
I feel good about doing spoilers. I want to just start off by saying this movie was terrible in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe we'll leave the spoilers until a little later.
Yeah,
we can leave it till a little later, but I'm
so we
just
can,
saying.
we can let some people.
This
depart
isn't
if they
like
don't
the
want to
Sixth
listen. But...
Sense where I'm like spoiling the ending for somebody.
Yeah,
This
no.
movie- What'd you
No,
say?
I mean, I knew it was going to be really bad, but I had no idea it was going to be this bad. Like, this thing exceeded all of my expectations
This
for
movie,
crappiness.
even if I spoil this movie for the entire world, I'd be doing them a service. This movie is not worth anybody's 2 hours. It's really, really a bad movie. So
I heard that if you saw the trailer, you basically saw the movie.
You basically did. I mean, except for the fact that they pull a complete bait and switch on you, and the main character is pretty much not Ares.
There's two girl bosses in this movie.
Yeah.
One is like a real girl boss that's human, and one there's a girl boss that's AI, and that's really what this movie is about. And they're both diverse girl bosses.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie is about. Everything is like one giant bait and switch. It's as if Disney sat around, looked at all their mistakes, every stupid thing they did with all their franchises over the past 7 years, and they sat there and said, what if we did all these mistakes again, but with Tron? Maybe now it'll work.
And
so
Scully was like a mom girl boss who was constantly nagging
Right,
and
she's
berating
constantly
her.
putting the other guy in his place, and then at the end,
Yeah.
like she wants
Yeah.
him to do the right thing, and she's the big sacrifice. She's the sympathetic, not even a sympathetic villain. She was trying to put him in his place so that he won't be a villain. It's
Triple
so
girl
stupid.
boss.
By the way, what happened to Cillian Murphy? Because in Tron Legacy, they actually presented us with Edward Dillinger Jr., which was supposed to be the son of that other Dillinger, and that was
Yeah.
played by Cillian Murphy. In this movie, it's like they don't even talk about Cillian Murphy
No.
anymore.
I thought I'm pretty sure that they said, "Hey, we're gonna make another movie," and he saw the script and said, "Not on your life."
No, that's
Not
exactly
with me,
what
you
hap-
ain't.
That's exactly what happened. He read the script and he said, "No, thank you." 'Cause
Nope.
They did try to get him. He's like, "Dude, I'm Oppenheimer, motherfucker. Like, I'm not being this trash."
6S is if they're lesbians. 'Cause
Yes.
then they'd be a triple threat. They may very well be. I don't even know.
Hey,
But-
can you go to Top Critics? Because it's even lower. If you
Okay,
go to
let's
the
see.
Top Critics was 41% last night. It moved up
46%.
To 46. Yeah, but still.
That's all critics. Click on top critics.
So all audience is 85% verified. I don't
46.
believe any of this. These audience things. See, Fandango sells tickets, so sometimes when they see that the critics don't like it, miraculously the audience loves it. And oddly, 86% is the number that the audience usually loves.
Yeah, so I can see some of the audience who wants to go see this like enjoying this film because they're on their phones the whole time,
Yeah.
or they're half asleep or they're high, and they're good with it, right? They're good with just, oh, look at the colors, oh, look at the. So we get started with this movie with just this info dump that they give us to try and explain to us that, oh, remember how we had that last movie, the one that like was kind of a cult hit? People kind of enjoyed it, and it was a real solid follow up to the original Tron. Yeah, we're just gonna forget all of that. Just the guy that we had that was the hero in the last movie. He took over his dad's company and was a total failure. Nearly ran it into the ground, and then resigned for personal reasons. And now we got girl bosses who've taken over the company, and they're making sure that company's making some bread, yo. And like that's what we get. That's the opening of this. It's like, oh, remember that last movie? Forget it. We're not going to do anything with that last movie. It's done. And we're going to go on and tell this totally different story with totally different characters.
It's basically a 5-minute explanation of why you're not getting the movie that you wanted and
that you wanted to see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, here's why we're not going to make the movie that you wanted, and here's how we say screw you.
Do you know what this movie is? I can tell you exactly what it is. It is Rings of Power with a techno paint job on everything. There's no computers here. There's no technology. It's all magic. It is nonsensical magic in a world building that was left completely ill-conceived. Yeah. So it's just, well, we need this to happen, so this was going to happen. The first two movies had a very consistent and philosophically engaging world building around them, and this just abandons that. It might as well be Gandalf, boom, we're flying now. But it just has a paint job of flashy techno Tesla robot stuff.
They fly now?
It's Rings of Power, and honestly,
fly now.
It's worse than Rings of Power, if you can believe it.
Yeah. So there's some major problems with this. They I don't even know how to say this. This is maybe one of the worst examples I have seen of and then storytelling.
Oh,
exactly. There's a thing that happens, and then we see another thing that happens, and then we go talk about another thing that happens. Most of these events are not connected in any way. And even from scene to scene, there are characters that will act differently than they did in the previous scene where you saw the character. It's terrible. I will say this: if we're gonna just broad brush here, the special effects for the most part really solid. They looked good. There were some solid action scenes, but that's all that this was. This was a 2-hour-long music video.
Yes.
With action scenes in it. And then occasionally they would pause for some characters to talk to each other, but it really didn't change anything.
Even though the special effects were good, the composition was terrible. It was all messy and hard to read and so much shit happening. I actually thought that the CGI was better in Legacy than this, because this was just sort of all over the place. The individual elements are good, but the composition and the compositing, it reminded me of, the prequels where they just have everything thrown into the screen at the same time going around.
Yeah.
And
you're right. Tron Legacy, let's put it this way. Tron Legacy was directed by Joseph Kosinski, who would later do Top Gun Maverick and F1. Now, you may like those movies or not, but that guy knows how to make a movie.
Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell in Tron Legacy that there was a structure. It wasn't just like you said in Istophobos. It wasn't random crap. You could tell that he really thought of what he was going to do there. And he's not a bum. I think he knows what he's doing, and he did a very decent job, especially with the visuals in Tron Legacy. In addition, I don't think that Nine Inch Nails are a bad band and some of their music is fine, but you know what? Even though in my own personal life I don't sit around and listen to Daft Punk all the time, I think that Daft Punk understood the assignment better than Nine Inch Nails. Nine Inch Nails are doing their kind of the same kind of song over and over again. I couldn't tell you the difference between all those songs. They kind of sound like an ongoing song that starts at the beginning of the movie and never ends. Whereas like Daft Punk really sat and composed a soundtrack to that movie. And along with the visuals and how it was organized with Joseph Kosinski's direction and a screenplay that was 100 times better than this one, that movie is superior to Ares in every possible way.
That soundtrack was on permanent rotation for a year for me.
Oh yeah, it was brilliant. But I actually really liked the movie. It wasn't even just okay. I thought Legacy was a good, solid, bordering on
it as
great
well. I liked
follow-up
it.
to Tron.
I know some people that didn't love it, but I actually liked Legacy. I thought that it was very, it was very respectful. It was a nice continuation of the first one, but bringing it to a more modern times, but not the kind of modern audience crap that Disney does today. I guess it was still in an era that they were trying to do some stuff that was cool. I thought that the idea of the son finding his father was kind of cool. The things that happened there at the end with like people making sacrifices and how you look at the world and there was a lot of spiritual ideas there and philosophical ideas. Relatively speaking, for whatever that movie was, I thought it was done really, really tastefully. I like that movie. This movie is slop. It's maybe expensive slop. They threw a lot of money at it. They made some pretty colors on the screen and things going on. There's some Nine Inch Nails in the background. But man, it doesn't come together as a movie. Certainly not with the writing and not even with the visuals.
No, the music wasn't terrible, but it didn't have that full atmospheric symphonic feeling that the Daft Punk did. But I noticed that Jared Leto is one of the executive producers. And his performance was uncharacteristically restrained. I get the feeling that this was nothing but a $200 million image rehabilitation attempt for him to be the good guy after all that culty and all the stories coming out and everything else. I felt like there was a strong intention for Jared Leto to be the nice guy, good guy hero.
I'm going to tell you something that even though I didn't think anything special of his performance, there were worse performances than his in this movie. For starters, this I'm sorry, I don't know how to explain it in a nice way. I want to say something. I like Asian women, so I'm just saying. So I know I generally like Asian women. Okay.
I know where you're going with this.
They somehow managed to find an Asian woman that is not a good actress, and at the same time, she's not hot. Okay?
No, she's hard to look at.
This is a problem. You either have an actress who's hot, an Asian hot woman, but maybe she's not the best actress, or she is a good actress, but maybe not so hot. Or ideally, in a movie like this, you need both, and they gave us neither. And that's inexcusable. It's inexcusable. If you're already going to be lazy and everything else in the writing and it's just some slop, at least bring hot women. And there were options. If you look at, let's say, Anna Sawai from Shogun, I think that she's a lovely Asian woman. If that's what they wanted, she is a better actress than this lady, and she looks a heck of a lot nicer than her. Why didn't they give her the call? Like, I think that she, at least, if nothing else, I would have looked at all these colors and there was like a nice lady. This one that they chose, she comes off as so not appealing, not interesting. And the final thing I'll say is some people may be saying, well, who are you to pass judgment on how she looks? Like, what do you look like? You're probably a bum. And you know what? I am a bum. But nobody, and I always say this, nobody is paying me millions of dollars to be in that movie. I'm the one paying money. I'm the one paying. Nobody's paying me. If somebody said, hey, let's put it this way. If I'm in charge of a movie, okay, and I need to cast like, some cool person that's kind of in a lead role, I'm probably not going to cast myself, okay? Even if I had all the options in the world, I wouldn't do it because it's not the right thing to do. This lady, maybe there's a movie that's right for her, but this isn't it.
No, I was thinking Zendaya. She was such a plank of wood and just kind of there. And when they showed those, there were a lot of close-ups of her just staring off into space. And every time they did, I'm like, this is the person they picked, like, to be the hero. She is so bad. Like, I do think maybe Jared Leto is the best actor in this movie.
He is the least offensive one.
Yeah.
The other one that you have is the girl boss AI, which is Jodie Turner-Smith, the yes from the Acolyte. I mean, and that she's Anne Boleyn. I mean, talk about suffering in this movie. Why would they want people to suffer this way?
No, the worst for me is the Seth guy, that marshmallow-faced little soy limp dick Pillsbury doughboy, the assistant to Eve.
Yeah,
it's just like the anti-masculinity, like every, and then you have, of course, we have the checkbox casting all over the place, but even the bad guy at first looked like, oh, he's the bad guy because he's white. He ends up being a cuck too. It was just girl boss versus cuck boy through the whole thing. It was killing me to see all of these girly men running around being completely ineffectual.
Did you guys see? You had to have seen it on Twitter. The best review was AI needs to hurry up and destroy Hollywood. I was dying.
So one of the things that really bugged me, just with all of the actors, this was clearly direction that was coming from, production of coming from the director. So in the previous films, in the previous Tron movies, we have seen humans in the digital world. We have seen, on the grid, we have seen programs, and the vast majority of those programs, especially even in the first film, but we also saw it in Legacy, those programs had personality and they acted like human beings for the most part. When we see the programs that we're seeing in this movie, they're all moving very robotically. They're speaking without any intonation. They're speaking in a very robotic fashion. I don't understand this. Like, we're suddenly going to have, like, before we had characters that were sort of fully realized as characters and as personalities. And now we're going to replace that. And now all the programs are robots.
Is that because it's a different grid?
No, it's because the world building sucks. Here's the thing. The programs always reflected the personality of their users.
Of the user.
But
the lady on the right is the main protagonist of this movie.
Yeah.
And the other guy's the marshmallow
simp,
head
yeah,
I was
like
talking about.
Such an annoying character.
He looks
so
like
annoying
in that picture.
The only person with a personality was Ares, but it was completely uncharacteristic of the guy who wrote his program. The very disappointing Evan Peters in this movie. And the fact is, it's another thing. I think this is Jared just, I'm going to be the hero. I'm going to be the good guy. He instantly comes out and he is motivated. He is independent. He is questioning.
He never goes through a process, though. He never goes
that's
through
what
a
I
process.
mean. He was like a Gary Stu.
It's as if, you're right, Estefobus. It's if, like Jared Leto said, listen, in this screenplay, I'm good from the first frame. You don't know why he's good. You think first he'd be evil, and then throughout the process, something happens to him, and he starts to change. But if you're not going to focus on that and not actually tell that story, it just seems like you don't know why he changed. He just suddenly is good, and you don't know why.
Oh, because he saw empathy. When she looked at him and it flashes up on his screen like empathy to empathy response, and all of a sudden, and then rain hit his hands, and now he's like the hero.
It's the Star Wars sequel trilogy syndrome, in the sense that just like with Rey, this girl boss is so girl bossy that even if what's his name, Ares, wanted to be bad, he just couldn't handle how awesome she is. And whatever bad emotions he had all collapsed because he was infatuated with this lady who doesn't even look that great.
Yeah, listen, it's sword and sorcery wearing a techno facade. The permanence code might as well be the Philosopher's Stone or the One Ring. You have the wizards, you have their minions, you have the Balrogs, you have the orcs, and then they're just painted up in this, quasi cyber techno bullshit. and then just magic wherever you need it. The only thing they set up and paid off were the member berry stuff. But I love what Professor said. This, because I always go on about lack of subtext and setup. This is and then storytelling, maybe the worst example I've seen in years. We'll just have this happen, and then this guy's going to act this way because we need this to happen, and then these guys are going to come down. Oh, but how do they get there? Well, they'll just go ahead and do some magic waves and fly around. The fact is, when the users went into the grid, they took on the laws of physics where they were at the grid. They did have a special sort of user energy power, but otherwise, what affected the programs in the grid affected the users too. And presumably, when Garrett Hedlund and Olivia Wilde went into the real world, she became a human, organic person subject to the laws of physics in our world. But in this movie, everything from the computer land or computer universe still acts by the computer rules when it's brought into our world, and it makes no sense. They are even 3D printing stuff, but out of what? There's no materials. It's just like a magic laser. That's why I said it's Gandalf waving his staff, creating a big tank and a couple of Jared Leto's. There's no that's what I mean about the world building. It's magic because there's no in-universe explanation. What is that made of? You printed a motorcycle, but did you print the engine? How is it powered? Does the guy have to go poop now? Does he need to eat? Does he bleed? No. It's still computer rules, but in our universe, which is why your brain goes, this makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. So they say at one point, they bring up we've brought him in. He doesn't need to eat. He doesn't need to sleep. He doesn't need to how is that possible? Like that you've created this thing that you've brought in from another world, but now it's in our world. It just has an infinite power source. It just lives. And does he need to breathe? Does it, they don't it doesn't make any sense at all. And then they continue to do that throughout the film. The thing that drove me the just irritated me the most was the completely physics breaking idiocy of course I think we saw it in the trailers, but they bring a recognizer over the giant enormous ship. They bring that over and print that into the real world. And first of all, as slowly as they print stuff, remember there's a limitation that we're given early on. We're given this limitation that things that are brought over from the digital world, this is a central plot point. Things that are brought over from the digital world can only exist for 29 minutes before they fall apart. They de-res.
Oh, you know why?
And so, the amount of time it takes them to print these things using the printer to be able to print out that enormous ship piece by piece, it would have taken the first parts they made would have disintegrated by the time they finished the last one. And then they're flying this thing around and it's got these jets shooting out of the bottom to help it fly. The physics of it do not work. It's absurd.
I was thinking 29 minutes because that's the limitation of what those writers could hold in their imagination while they're trying to figure out the scene. And after 29 minutes, man, it's gone. Poof.
Yeah. And literally to survive this whole thing, our protagonists just needed to move an hour out of town. And they would have been safe for the whole film.
Now, as offended as we all were by this movie, the laws of thermodynamics were possibly the most offended of anybody or anything from this, because the laws of physics, thermodynamics, all together, none of it, even, I could understand they have some concepts of hard light, holographic constructs tied into an electromagnetic field that would, make it act like matter. But they don't have infinite missiles and power sources and can fly and it's just
Can you still hear us to Phobos? There's something,
yes.
I don't know how to put everybody on the thing. What if I do this? Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we can't. You can't do the presentation at the same time. With the presentation, I think you can only fit 4 of us on the screen.
Oh, okay, I got you. Sorry,
Yeah.
Cece, you didn't tell me you were here.
I gummed this up when I came in. I screwed everything up.
No, you're good.
And
Okay,
the fact
okay.
is, the magic code they were looking for was hidden on a 5 1/4-inch floppy disk inside of a box of unlabeled floppy disks in a Quonset hut somewhere in the Arctic. From like,
Wait.
what the hell?
What happened
Like-
to Sean? Oh, okay, sorry.
I was exploring and I hit the wrong button.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're kind of venturing into spoilers and stuff. So if there's anybody still in the chat who doesn't want to hear any of this stuff,
It's
just
one of
know
the
we're gonna
worst
be talking
movies I've
spoilers
seen in a
for a
long
bit,
time, and
but-
I've seen a lot of bad ones. If
Yeah.
you insist that you want to watch it, you could go do it.
If you really want to watch it without spoilers, we totally understand. But yeah, I think we're gonna get into it because oh man, it's so bad.
Yeah, sorry. I
It's
think
so
I was-
rough. No,
Yeah.
it's fine. I don't think there's too many people in the audience who are just saying no, la 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 la, don't spoil it.
We know our
Because
crowd.
It's so rough. It's so bad. I like I said, we start this movie off with this terrible little like 2-minute thing that tells us, yeah, you're not going to get to see the movie you really want. So we're going to move on and tell you this other thing. And they introduce these characters, and yeah, they go to some Quonset hut in the middle of we don't know where.
Antarctica, maybe? Like, it
Yeah, I
really
don't-
looks...
Yeah, where they're it's full of stuff, and you find out that this girl's sister was obsessed with learning about Flynn and whatever, and that the two of them, they were the dynamic duo that was going to take over Incom after the man totally failed, the white male completely failed and left, and they took it over, and now they're gonna make this happen. You don't find out right away, but you do eventually find out that she's died. And the reason she's there is to look through all the research that her sister has done, and she finds the floppy disk. She's digging through the 5 1/4 floppy disks, and
on an 8088 IBM PC that
Yes.
In an
one-
igloo, like in an igloo.
Yeah.
It takes 2.5 minutes to read those discs, but like, why would the sister, she finally discovers it? Did she die there on the spot before she could tell anybody? Couldn't she at least got out a Post-it and labeled the disc? Hey, it's this one. This is what we've been looking for.
Yeah.
Like, literally no. That's what happens when you try to write a bad story inside of an ill-conceived world. They had the world building. It was already there. They had 2 movies of it, but they needed to make their own. Why?
It was an easy tap-in. The first movie, and Tron Legacy, set up endless possibilities, like for how to continue that story, and there were so many good options, and then they just, shit the bed and did this stupid movie.
I heard it was the cheaper option rather than doing a straight sequel.
Okay, there were a couple of things I liked. Honestly, the member berries worked a little bit on me when he goes back into Sam's original computer.
But when he hops into the original server and we're seeing the 80s graphics and stuff. That was fun. I enjoyed that. That was a clever bit. Even the fact that he escapes through the same hole in the side of the wall in the light cycle game that was created in the first film. Remember, there's the way that they get out of the light cycle game. Yeah,
no,
absolutely. Member berry.
But they executed it. They executed the member berry well. They actually like pulled out some stuff that was actually relevant from that original picture. They didn't just try and recreate it, right?
I guess
they did actually do something that referenced that movie, and it did a good job of referencing it.
Jeff Bridges collects the easiest check that he's ever collected.
He was playing the dude.
That part
was
was bad. Yeah, that part with Jeff Bridges was bad. It was terrible.
And he was a plot convenience. He just shows up and gives them the answers and leaves, and there's member berries, and that's it.
He is a Deus ex machina. He is the god from the machine. He shows up and gives all the answers, and fixes all the things and gives them the MacGuffin that he's been looking for the whole movie. Like,
He
yes,
you know what
it's
I was thinking to
ridiculous.
myself, and I was telling this before I was with Scribe and with Andre on some stream, that basically he reminded me of Luke Skywalker in Rise of Skywalker. He just shows up, does like helps the protagonist go from A to B, gives some kind of solution, like you said. He's just there, a plot convenience. I think that in Rise of Skywalker he gives her a ship or a wayfinder, wayfinder. I don't even know because I've only watched that movie once. But basically, he shows up at the right time, talks to Ray for a few minutes, and leaves. That's kind of the equivalent of Jeff Bridges in this stupid movie.
Yeah, there wasn't even any self-awareness or tongue-in-cheekiness about being the Deus Ex Machina. But I wanted to tell you, yeah, that first member berry worked, but they canceled it out with the last member berry that was absolutely nonsensical, the return of Sark.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh,
idiotic.
in the mid credit,
Yeah,
that was idiotic.
credits. That was awful. The I was chatting with some people here in Rumble and on YouTube. Yeah, a couple of complaints that I had seen. One during the fight scenes, the people fighting with like the axes and light staffs and stuff like that. Those are just nonsensical the way they get used. The if you were actually fighting like with a staff, if you've actually seen anyone do that, you would have just wrapped yourself in those little light beams and not have been able to get out, right?
Yeah, you'd be in a cage.
Yeah, you would have encased yourself in the light beams from those things. That was stupid. It made no sense.
As well as the hacking when they sent the guys in to try to hack. It's like, did Incom have no computer security whatsoever? Like, you got to figure that's where the smart people are. They should have. They did this little hacking thing where Dillinger hacks into Incom and they go into the grid, and it's a couple of guys sneaking around like thieves in the night, and somehow they get through everything with ease. And I'm like, again, it's that sort of that philosophical analogy of the real world and the grid.
They were trying to do a metaphor for and as they have done in other Tron films, where there's like, okay, so the programs are actually, we see them physically on the grid, but those are actually the programs that we are writing and manipulating and giving tasks to handle as the users. So they do that, but the metaphor is completely messed up in the way that they actually use it, and it makes no sense.
Yeah,
And
it's like
so-
little Navy SEALs trying to break into the Incom. Like, it was so absurd. And so when they hit to something like a member berry, you don't really get to enjoy it at the time because your brain is still reeling from the stupid shit it's still trying to wrap its head around that it just saw.
It's just nonsensical. It doesn't pay attention to any prior world building. It just does a bunch of stupid nonsense, which never gets really explained. The Asian actress is terrible. Jodie Turner-Smith, I don't have anything good to say about her either. She has a similar problem to that other actress, and I know I'm going to get crap on this, and I'm sorry, but she's not the hottest woman ever, and there's nothing about her acting that really impresses me either. And if you're not hot and your acting isn't that great, I don't know what to tell you, Professor.
Well, and her acting in this is horribly mechanical too.
Yeah,
And again, I think part of that was direction, but it was so mechanical, so emotionless, so dull.
She did have the only consistent character set of motivation. She was programmed to do this, and that's what she was trying to do in a really crazy, whacked out way. But I was trying to look for the positive. I thought the light cycles were cool, and the member berries worked, or the first ones. But then, as soon as I got home, I played Tron Legacy and watched that first huge light cycle thing. No, those light cycles weren't cool. Tron Legacy did it 10 times better. Holy crap! It looks so much better.
Tron Legacy is a much better movie, and I'll tell you another thing. Even the opening of Tron Legacy is cool. The thing where he comes and he's trying to upload the software for free, and he jumps off the building with the parachute. It already like creates this kind of fun, interesting atmosphere. You're already drawn into it. In this movie, it's such a miserable start to this movie. I don't even care. Why is she in the Arctics with that floppy disk? What the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, and they're constantly referring to characters that like pop in, do what they need to do, and pop out. No history, no context, no motivation. Even the sister. It's
no, Six. It's two different characters. One is Asian and one is black. And I will say this again: there are Asian women and black women who are very pretty, and there are Asian women and black women that are good actresses. And sometimes you can find ones that are good actresses and pretty, but somehow for this movie, none of that was a requirement.
I will find those for this movie.
Listen, I really liked Jodie Turner-Smith in Bad Monkey. I thought she did a very good job of acting.
Fair enough.
But I know who she is, and it's very patriarchal, and so I can't stand her even when she's doing good. She's like Pedro or Zegler. It's ruined. Like I can't get past the obnoxious twanks that they.
I can just think of yes. That's all I think about when I see her.
So there was one massive plot hole. We mentioned this just briefly. We talked about the floppy disk. We talked about the floppy disk that has this code on it that has allowed the, as they say, permanence, so that they can bring things out of the digital world, put those in the real world. They found this in this Quonset hut in the middle of nowhere on a floppy disk. And then they transfer that. They copy that onto like a little,
Flash
USB flash drive or something that she carries with her. And then she's caught in a chase. She gets away and she decides, okay, well, I have to destroy it. I'm going to destroy it. So she destroys the flash drive. What happened to the floppy disk? They act like the data is just gone because they copied it off of that original floppy. They act like, oh, it's gone now. Well, we copied it off the floppy. It's on this drive.
Oh,
that's not how data works.
Yeah, but they did. It was like War of the Worlds. They ate it. They even used the word transfer as if it's no longer there. They specifically, I remember them using the word transfer. So,
okay,
yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Plus, this was a fairly sophisticated piece of code that allows the 3D printed magical constructs to become permanent. You think it'd fit on a 5 1/4-inch floppy? These things hold 512K.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even get the file name on there.
There's something very important going on, and I have to address it. And CC Karaoke has already done that in the background. People are saying that Gillian Anderson was in this, and she wasn't very good. But at least, and I agree with CC, at least that woman looks nice. Even now, she maintains a nice look. At least she you could say that she looks nice. And generally speaking, her acting wasn't. I don't think it was as bad as Jodie Turner-Smith and the other lady, but I just think that the character was so stupid. And even she didn't give her best performance, but at least she didn't look bad. That's what you were saying, right, Cece?
She was an emasculating, nagging person that, basically all she did was degrade her son. That had to be direction. All she was there to do. Sorry.
Maybe
what
the
were you going to
script
say?
didn't help her, but she has aged like a very fine wine. Some ladies just are always very beautiful, and I think she fits that category, regardless of whether the movie was any good. So,
at least if you wanted a woman that looks nice, I can't say that she doesn't, and she's aged like fine wine. I agree with you. So, tip of the hat to Gillian Anderson, even though she couldn't save this movie either. What were you going to say, Stephobos?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize CC was actually here and talking. I just sorry. I just thought Sean changed his avatar. No, I was just saying.
I can't get an avatar. That's the problem.
Her sole purpose in life was to emasculate her son and to nag him and yell at him and complain and tell him, I told you so, and that he's a failure. And by the end of the movie, even the bad white guy was just another, soy cuck amongst girl bosses.
People are asking what was the accent. Gillian Anderson is like by accent. She basically can do English accent and she could do American and she can shift between them because I think she spent some of her life in England and some of her life in the U.S. and she has a strange thing that wherever she goes, her accent can change and she can just go in and out of any accent like that very fluently. So I remember she's talked about this a lot in interviews. So she does a more English accent here because her husband was, what was his name? Not Dillinger. Was it Dillinger? What was the guy?
Yeah, Dillinger was
right. So that character was English. So she's English, and I guess the son isn't though. The son just acts like he's American. I don't know. I think it's annoying that they didn't bring Cillian Murphy and didn't give him a great role here. And I don't know why they couldn't bring back Gareth Hedlund and Olivia Wilde.
They also saw the script. I don't think Garrett Hedlund had any interest at all in what they were wanting to do, but he is a huge Tron fan. He grew up a Tron fan as a kid. He's probably the most enthusiastic of all the actors they had. But when he read the script, he was completely uninterested in having a part of this, and it's a shame because we had places to go after Legacy. We had a world that was consistent and coherent, and we had a place for these characters to go, and they just you threw it away.
Mm-hmm. I still want to know why they didn't bring back Peter Jurassic as Crom. I just
Six is saying women have no value unless they look nice. Price October 10th, 2025. I'm going to need to open a file for these pricey press tidbits. But the thing is that that's not actually what I said. I said it's either you're a really good actress or you look really good or both. Now, in a movie like this especially, because this is that kind of movie, you really hope it'll be both. Or at minimum, you hope it's the option that she looks nice. The highest priority is looking nice. Looking nice and acting to good actress is good. If none of those are possible, at least give a really good, strong performance. But if you're not doing any of those things, then that already becomes a real issue. And it could be the difference between a man being able to suffer through a movie and not being able to suffer.
Listen, I'm not paying $20 where I could just go to Walmart and look at ugly people walk by for 2 hours. Like, look at Legacy. They had Olivia Wilde. They had Beau Garrett. Like, they not
Olivia
only
Wilde, like in her, I still think that she's a pretty woman now, but I'm saying like Olivia Wilde in that moment that they filmed her for Tron Legacy looked very impressive in my opinion.
Yeah, and then Beau Garrett was the blonde. She actually was Frankie Ray in the second Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. She was Johnny Storm's girlfriend, and
she looked good. Yeah, I didn't have any issue with her either. She was more likable than the ladies in this movie. Both of them were more likable than the ladies in this movie.
Listen, I don't want to look at ugly guys either. It's just the fact is we like aesthetically pleasing things. That guy, the actor Seth, the cuck assistant, actually looking at him was the most offensive of anybody else. Like, yeah, okay, what's her name? What's Eve's actor's name? It's like
Captain Krypton says prime Olivia Wilde, post House MD.
Yeah,
I can't argue with her. She did look very good in that movie.
Yeah, Greta Lee isn't. She's not ugly. She's just like
she's just kind of there. She's not the kind of person you put in this movie. It's like if I had an indie and I needed like a character actress to do something, maybe she could be like okay for that. Even though I didn't even think her performance was that good. I didn't really like her acting. I didn't think that her look was spectacular. A small indie movie with a character actress, maybe you can give her some kind of role. That's probably where you would put Greta Lee. The main protagonist, after a bait and switch in this movie, replacing like Sam Flynn, like replacing basically Gareth Hedlund. I absolutely am against that. She just doesn't deliver.
But that Arturo Castro guy, the Seth Flores, that's like looking at Seth MacFarlane after 200 facial reconstruction surgeries and accidents. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to pay to look at somebody who, the Pillsbury Doughboy after an industrial incident. Like, sorry, just.
Yeah. I mean, and the funny thing is that Jared Leto is actually the thing that annoyed me the least. I don't especially like him, and I think that like his transition from being like evil to good happened very illogically, and I don't think there was anything spectacular about his performance. But at least he didn't do that thing like he's a Joker in that Suicide Squad movie. At least he didn't do that weird overacting thing. He just kind of plays it straight, if that makes any sense. And considering like what happens in this movie, his performance is relatively harmless. It's not especially good or it doesn't stand out, but it's relatively harmless at least.
Yeah, but why does he have a beard and long hair? If you're 3D printing stuff, the last thing you want to do is have extra work and materials that doesn't have any function, that doesn't serve any purpose.
That's true. But on the other hand, why does Jodie Turner-Smith have blonde hair?
Cultural appropriation.
Yep. Six thinks Jared Leto is yummy.
He wasn't bad looking. He's got those baby blues, and like I said,
yeah.
No, this entire movie was nothing but an image rehabilitation for him. I truly believe.
But here's another thing, and I think it's interesting what Six said. In spite of all of her comments about me, at the end of the day, even women that go to a movie, they prefer it if there's a guy on screen and they think he looks okay. I'm not a woman, so I don't really know. I mean, I guess women think that Jared Leto is good looking. If they do, that's fine. But I'm saying that at least it looks like whoever made the movie is trying to cater to them by bringing a guy that maybe they'll think is at least, pleasant to look at. Whereas what do we get? What do the guys get? We got that Greta Lee lady. We got Jodie Turner-Smith. I'm sorry. That's just like, I know I sound like a jerk, but that doesn't do it for me.
When I'm a pensioner, Gilly Anderson is going to be hot. But I do think she is still an attractive woman, but
she's the best looking woman in this movie. What are you talking about?
But
forget about age or anything. She is the best looking woman in the movie. She looks better than Greta Lee and better than Jodie Turner-Smith. And the fact that you're best looking woman in a big blockbuster Hollywood thing that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to do, that your best looking woman is nothing personal. I'm not 20 either, but how old is Gillian Anderson? Does somebody know?
I think 60 something, right? Hold on, 57.
You know what? Every woman in the world could aspire to look like that at 57. She looks fantastic at 57. And the fact that she's the best looking woman in the movie, it says something about the casting for this movie, that they're just dumb and stupid and they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I still wouldn't call her eye candy though.
No, not eye candy, but she is the best looking woman out of the main characters that you see here on screen. She looks
absolutely
better than those other two. Say whatever you want.
Absolutely.
I don't know if Six is being serious anymore.
She says some Babylon 5. How do we get there? I also think it is pure fire.
Are we talking about the in the butt comment?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. She's saying Crom.
No, the Babylon
Peter
5
Jurassic
thing was the joke that I told that nobody got because it was way too esoteric. Peter Jurassic played a character named Crom in the original Tron, and I was joking that he should have come back to play Crom again.
Oh, well, isn't he passed?
No, he's still around.
Oh, most of the Babylon
He's retired.
5,
He's retired, but yeah, he's still around.
Yeah, so many of the Babylon 5 people met, premature ends in horrible ways. It's sad. It was one of those, but Londo's my favorite character from the show too. Fear. I can see the synapses firing behind your eyes. It is quite frightening. So, let's see. Did we there's something that happened in the middle of this.
Adam
Oh,
Gray says, "Oh, the Leto curse strikes again." Yeah, I guess he can't catch a break, that guy.
the recognizer when it's being attacked by helicopters and jets, and just the absurd way they got through that whole military attack. But I give them credit. At least there was a military attack. You know, some of these shows, they have a huge invasion army come in and there's not even police there, like trying to shoot it or something. It's just like, nobody's even cares. So, you know, at least there was actually an Air Force strike team squadron, you know, trying to shoot down the recognizer, which you got to figure everything that happened to that town in that day, you know, the magic tanks and the magic motorcycles and the light beams that seemed to last like, I guess, 29 minutes, you know, crossing the freeway and stuff. Like the traffic would have been miserable.
And what are the light beams made of? Because at one point we see it cut a car in half. Then later, she's just like tapping on them like they're like some sort of plastic wall or something.
Yeah, I think if you hit the edge, it'll cut you in half. Otherwise, you just bounce off. But
there's a lot of things that don't quite make sense. It feels like that part of the world building where you understand what the stakes are, what does what to who. I feel like I didn't fully get that, and I didn't know if it was just me or other people would feel that way too.
Well, I think Estefos got it earlier. He said it's basically a completely unconstrained and unexplained magic system.
Yeah,
that allows all of these characters to exist. It allows their weapons to work and exist, and it's completely unexplained. There's no scientific basis for it. There's no rules. It's just BS magic.
Yeah,
stuff.
it is a sword and sorcery magic music video with a techno paint job that just happens.
But again, 9 Inch Nails, in my opinion, are disappointing here. I feel like Daft Punk, like I said, understood the assignment a lot more.
Yeah.
I don't even care if you like Daft Punk or not, and it's not that I listen to them all day. They knocked that thing out of the park. They knew exactly what they needed to do with the soundtrack. It was probably the best thing that Daft Punk has ever done is the soundtrack to that movie, because they knew what they needed to do. 9 Inch Nails, I feel like Trent Reznor has become very lazy. He just sits there and does his usual Trent Reznor over and over again. That's what the whole movie sounds like. There's this kind of like those kind of industrial fart noises.
I'm not sure Trent Reznor's done much in the last 20 years. Fragile. I'll say the Fragile, I think, is one of the greatest albums, certainly of that era.
I'm not sure Mozart could have saved this thing, though. You could have brought back, Jesus and Bach and Mozart and John Williams at his peak. They didn't have anything to work with, man. There's no sort of emotional core of this movie, so there's nothing to get a handle on about what you're going to compose.
Oh no, there's no emotional handle. There's no hook. There's nothing. This movie is about nothing.
Doesn't it sound like the same song over and over again, though? Doesn't it sound like the same?
It really does. Yeah,
I didn't think farce. That's the only thing I can describe it as. It's like
there's like. I think I only noticed the music like twice during the whole 2 hours because it was just there.
There was only, I think, one scene where I felt like everything worked together. The music was all right. The special effects, the action, even the shots that they were using were solid. There were a lot of places in this. I was like, why did they shoot it that way? That doesn't make any sense. But there was only one place. It was during the escape from the grid when Ares rescued the protagonist and they're escaping. They're racing across the water, being chased by the whatever flying things that are coming after them. I thought that scene worked really well. I thought the special effects were great. The action was well shot. The music worked with it. That was the only time in the whole thing when I was like, yeah, this works. But the rest of it just, so bad. It is a real disappointment.
And speaking of that, what exactly was Aries' personality. He comes out, he knows classical literature, he knows music, he knows Depeche Mode, he knows jokes, except when the dude goes, you can say that again, he acts like he doesn't know what that means. But he's like this fully formed, perfect character with a wide range of education, knowledge, understanding, and experience, and can even predict the weather. It's basically Ray in a glow suit.
A little bit less than Ray, maybe. Like, yeah, it's weird how they choose, like, oh, he's into Depeche Mode, but he also knows who Mozart is, and yeah, there's weird.
Yeah, but just
things.
his mannerisms, he was basically, he knew how to make other people comfortable. He kind of knew how to investigate things. Like, he was a fully formed personality, not a security program. As he was written, he never had to grow. He just sort of spat out of the womb, metaphorically, fully formed with a 100% engaged personality that was somewhat warm and very knowledgeable. And it's just another, and then thing. And then he makes a joke, and then he laughs at a joke, and then he quotes Herman Melville. It's like, really, what the... Oh, and the amount of information they're able to gather, even though they're made of artificial light constructs, they have all these sensors and radar and LiDAR and microphones and laser. Like, whenever one of the Tron constructs looks out into the real world, they have a complete schematic mapping of everything that's going on. They can see through buildings. They can hear what's being said a mile away. They can diagram out. They have predictive. It's Tron paycheck. Yeah.
But quickly, before we go on, Sean, I think, has to step away. He has early work that he needs to do tomorrow morning. So, Sean, it was great seeing you. We love having you here. It's always great, and we hope to see more of you. I know you're very busy during the evenings, but everybody was really excited to see you here today, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
I appreciate it.
Is there anything you want to talk about? You have your comic smacked in the head, something?
Yeah, I got my comic. If you go to Crumbs Comics, you can order one.
Hold on, Crumbs Comics.
Or if you live in Charlotte, North Carolina, you can pick it up at Sailfish Comics in Concord, and also Heroes Aren't Hard to Find.
So I'm going to share that right now here in for Rumble and YouTube, and I'm sharing it. You guys should check out. That's Sean's comics there. You could get. You should check it out, and we'll see you soon, Sean.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Sean.
night.
Good night.
Take care, Sean. Great seeing you.
Take care.
Bye.
I didn't know he was in Charlotte. That's where Irina Zarutska. That's sad.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you think? Like, I really predict a tremendous drop off for the second week for this, but anybody have any box office predictions? Or
I think this is going to be a disaster. Based on what I saw today, there's no hype for this movie. And the stupid thing is, all they needed to do was do something that continues Tron Legacy, and I think there would have been at least that audience. At least there would have been people that like that movie and want to see it. It was the minimum, and they just didn't do it. So, I don't know.
Disney...
Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying, Disney can't keep its ideology in its pants. They have to screw up and rewrite and try to, quote, fix, unquote, everything. And I guess the other two Trons truly were too patriarchal. So they couldn't continue along that line, even though they had a female co-lead that would have done, as crazy as she is in real life, she's still a viable, bankable star.
And she would have been fine. There was a lot you could do with her, and she still looks nice. And Gareth Hedlund actually, I think, improved. He's like a better actor now. You see him on Tulsa King. I think that there was something you could have done with these actors and given Jeff Bridges something to do, and it would have been fine. But that's just not what they were looking to do. They wanted to make this piece of shit movie, Sorry,
Yeah.
Sean, he's not even here. But if it cost 180 million, and that's probably without the marketing, let's say it had to make 2.5 times that amount, so 360, and then 400 and it's a late hour, 450 or whatever it is. So it's not making 450 worldwide. I just don't see it. It'll make maybe somewhere between 100 to 200, I think, worldwide, if it's lucky. Like, that's going to be the range, and it'll ultimately be another failure.
I think they're going to pull a 2x multiplier if they manage to make 80 worldwide this week. I think they're going to come in just under 200 million for the whole run. I don't think this is not going to have any legs. It's already been tremendously front loaded, and I'm not even sure they're going to meet their expectations of 80 million worldwide this weekend. But
no, I'm saying worldwide, they end somewhere between the 100 and 200 range million.
Okay, yeah. I have to...
Like the whole run, not this weekend. Like the entire run is going to be between 100 to 200 million. That's what I foresee. If it does more than a 200 million worldwide box office, I'd be really surprised. But even if it manages to crack that, it's not going to be significant. This doesn't look like a movie to me that's making back even the 450 million it needs to cover its budget.
I think Disney is only going to have 2 movies this entire year that made money, and every other one of them lost big. So, they've got Lilo and Stitch, which they've already squandered the profits from there, and they're going to have Zootopia 2, which all the furries are going to go and see, and it should do pretty good. That's the only thing they're making money at the box office this entire year.
Six sent me something, and out of respect to her, I'll share it. Let's see if I can do it. Presentation. It says sold out screening for Tron Ares, and then it has these guys like drawn in there.
All right.
That's funny.
It is funny, I guess. Generally speaking, those cinephile people, I don't think very much of them, but this was rather amusing, so I'll give them that. It was a good joke.
That was 6. That bravo.
After telling about 1,000 unfunny jokes, they were bound to tell one that was funny, so they finally did it.
Yeah, I mean, even I got home, I watched the Legacy thing, and basically all day I've just been ruminating on just how this was a setup slam dunk for them. If they could have kept the budget under control and did a halfway decent story, they would have made money. But instead, this may be the worst movie I've seen in the last couple of years. Certainly in the way my sort of brain and emotions reacted to what was going on screen. This was painful to sit through.
Painful. I wanted it to end. I always tell Professor that if I'm watching a movie and I feel like falling asleep, and especially one that's supposed to be like action-packed, there's all this cool stuff happening. If I just feel like dozing off, that's not a good sign. I mean, I stayed awake, but there was a part of me that's told myself that if I fell asleep, that would be okay too. I didn't because I want to review it, but at least it crossed my mind.
Yeah. So asked how Jodie Turner-Smith did, and you had said mechanical before, but she really didn't have anything to work with. It kind of, like I said, she was the only character in the whole movie that had any kind of consistency, but even she went a little insane with her initial directive. But there were no characters in this movie. Nobody had anything to do. I don't even see the point of this movie.
No, there isn't one.
I like what Six wrote. I don't want to show this, but Six will pout if I don't. It is funny, I guess. You know what, Six? You summed it up pretty nicely. I'll give you that. By the way, I just want to say, I didn't get a chance to do this little victory lap, but maybe I'll do it now. Superman.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah. Superman in Forbes, they wrote that it actually... It's funny because they buried it in the middle of the article. But they basically suggest there that the thing didn't make money, which we know it didn't.
I
Let's
already
see
shared
where
it, Bryce.
is. Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So basically, the bottom line is it didn't make its money back.
Final North
And
American box office tally. And then worldwide gross, 615.
Jeez.
Production
615.
budget of 225 million. Marketing budget of 125 million. General split. Superman's theatrical net of around 308. So even going with the 308 million before other expenses falls below the 350 million Warner Brothers spent on the production and filming. They even go on to talk about tax credits, saying that even then it still leaves them some 25 to 30 million dollars in the hole.
My son really liked this movie, and I keep having explained to me why he likes superheroes. So Into the Spider-Verse is one of his favorite. So I go, who's the bad guy? And he goes, Kingpin. And I said, what's his motivation? And he's like, he wants to get his family back. How is he doing that? Blah, blah, blah. Go over a couple of Avengers. And then I go, Superman, who's the bad guy? He goes, Lex Luthor. I'm like, what's his motivation? It's like 20 seconds of quiet. And then he's like, well, you got me there.
Yep. It's a real mess of a film.
I want to show you something very important, okay? This is very important stuff. So I just have to find this. Okay, I think I got it. Now, Forbes, they came to this conclusion like 2-3 days ago, and they buried it in their article. And let's see when I said it. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yep.
Super flop. And this is actually, I said it on July 15th. If I actually click on it, it'll say July 15th. We're in October 10th right now. I said it on July 15th. And so many people said, oh, why are you saying this? Why are you saying this? It's so great. You're just making it up. It's making a lot of money. And the more people said it, the more it annoyed me. And that's why you had more videos like, still a flop. And then I had Gunn can't beat Snyder, which was true, all true. And then there's Lying to You, which is one that I explained about all the adjusting for inflation and how this is all just a smokescreen. And so many people had issues with what I said, but now it's like, so Forbes is basically 80 days behind me. Whoever that jerk off at Forbes is, he gets like a 6-figure salary a year, to give his best analysis in the world. And all he could do was say what I said with my analysis almost 3 months ago. And it would have been fine, but there's a few types. Sorry, I'm being an asshole now, but I have to be an asshole for a few minutes. There's two types of people in these comments that annoy me in my videos. There's one kind that what they say is, well, you weren't the first one, and they give me like the name of YouTuber. This guy said it, that guy said it. And actually, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but even these big names that they put in their comments, it's not true. They didn't say it before me. I said it before them. I won't say that every single thing in the world I've said first. Like, for example, there was Rings of Power. Gary was on top of that for like 2 years before it came out. He knew everything that was going to happen. He said everything that was going to happen. He was right like about everything. Okay. Sometimes that happens. And maybe sometimes you're right about one thing. This was my thing that I was right about. I said it, and I feel like people were like, wait, let's hear like what this guy has to say. What about this guy's analysis? Oh, what about this? What about that? And until now, people are like, let's ask this guy. Let's ask that guy. There's nothing to ask. I said it first, and I was correct. And I was 100% right about every single thing that I said. And all the people that were saying all this other crap were wrong. And they weren't before me. They were after me. And they were also being annoying, some of them. So just putting that out there. Without pointing fingers directly at anybody.
Well, I want to mention you actually said this a year ago, not just last July. So you were predicting this far earlier than that.
Well, I think that, this is something that I give Professor credit as well, because on these kind of streams that we talked about numbers in advance, what we thought, and probably Cece was on some of those. Professor, I think, was he had like probably the most accurate predictions.
Now, in her defense, Forbes, that's a woman, her name's Caroline Reed, and her job is to do financial research, not prediction, not opinion. So she's confirming what you said.
No, actually, this was Tim Lammers.
That's
I
Tim
knew
Lammers.
Caroline Reed is.
Okay.
Yeah, but Tim Lammers
I know
also
who
typically
Caroline
he
Reed
does.
is.
Yeah, the Tim Lammers, he typically does the, it's out of the box office, how much money did it make kind of articles. They're pretty workmanlike. So
Okay.
that's pretty standard kind of a thing. Like, it's finally out of the box office. Did it make money? He did this a very similar one. I was looking at his stuff. He did a similar one for Lilo and this year's Lilo and Stitch, right?
Yeah, so Paul Tassi is the douchebag over at Forbes that replaced
he is a
Scott
douchebag.
Mendelson. And then Eric Kane is the reasonable guy.
No, Eric Kane is a douche too, but I'll get to that in a second. 6, didn't you have a 50-50 chance of being right? It's either a flop or a success. No, but that's not it. I explained why it would be a flop. It's like, it's not that I just said it, just pulling it out of my ass. I said exactly what the issue was, and everything I said, all of my analysis throughout that whole period of time was accurate. And then she wrote, I never thought you were wrong, mostly because I didn't watch those videos. Well, thank you. Now, Eric Kane... basically, I like to call him Eric Booger Kane. But the thing with Eric Kane is, he is a flip-flopping jerk, in my opinion. That's my personal opinion.
You're not wrong. He's
basically, if you look back at his article, at his history, when The Last Jedi came out, he was one of the people writing about the istophobia and all that stuff. Like, he was towing the company line. And then what does this guy do? When he sees that something isn't catching on, when the narrative is falling apart, he then changes his position. He flip-flops. He's like the John Kerry of like Forbes, and he suddenly says, oh no, I never even liked that movie. He did the same with like Willow, and the same with like all that Rings of Power. Right. Rings of Power premieres. He says the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever. Then he sees after a few weeks where the wind is blowing. You know what? It's an abomination. It's like, dude, 5 minutes ago you said it was the best thing ever. You don't get to now change that. You're an asshole. You don't get to change that now. And by the way, when I actually told him that, when he once posted something and I answered his reply on Twitter, he had a meltdown and blocked me because I wasn't even doing anything special. I said, like, you are a flip. I explained that he was a flip-flopper, that he said one thing and now he's pretending something else. I think I took a few articles of his and pasted them, and replied with his own article to his own stupid shit, which is why he blocked me. So I don't buy him at all. I don't buy that guy. I have nothing positive to say about him.
Oh, I think lately he's sort of been on the side of reason, which is why. But like, he gave Amazon a blowjob like
livelihood,
nothing
only to try to protect his livelihood.
Yeah. But the blowjob he gave the Amazon initially for Rings of Power was just epic in scope, and then his evisceration and takedown by week 5. It was good. It was funny. It was well written. He's a better writer than Paul Tassi, but I agree. Like, and if you look at his videos and look at the comments, everybody's asking him to explain himself. Like, so what changed? 3 weeks ago, this is the greatest Tolkien ever, and now you're eviscerating it. And he's like, he's like, the show got bad. Like, the first 3 episodes were magnificent, and then the 4th one, I guess, was terrible. Like, he wouldn't explain it because he really didn't have. And I kept commenting on his YouTube, and he blocked me on Twitter too. Why don't you just admit that you stopped being a shill? And he wouldn't do it.
Right. I have nothing good to say about him. He looks like a phony to me, and I don't like a guy that like threw fans under the bus and did all the shilling, and then suddenly he like sees that the ship is sinking and he's pretending he's like the voice of reason. Don't buy that guy. I don't buy him, and I have nothing to say. Is it better, a guy like that, than let's say like a Paul Tassi? Fine. He's better than Paul Tassi, but that is such a low bar that I can't really say anything.
No, and you're right. And attacking the fans, that's the one thing I'm just not going to forgive. Like, you can disagree, you can have your various opinions, but doing the whole fan baiting, istophobe thing and fan blaming, Once you go there, was it John Boyega? Sorry, no, you can't come back to the good side.
Nope.
Once you go that route, yeah, I agree. And
Yeah.
I haven't been as hard on Kane. Mostly, I'll admit, because he's been agreeing with me over the last year. But you're right. He's just an opinion
Here he
for
is.
sale.
Here he is. Your good friend Eric Kane. The Rings of Power review: a breathtaking return to Middle Earth and the Lord of the Rings. This is how he started. When he saw that this thing was not working, he pivoted, and then he's like, "Oh, it's an abomination." But I remember that he wrote how much he loved it. He loved this thing, and don't tell me that it got worse. From the first
I know.
episode, this was a piece of shit, and everybody knew it. And only a person that's shilling and doing some like kind of weird shifty stuff says that this is breathtaking.
In his
I can't
defense,
take this guy seriously.
In his defense, my whole purpose was to get him to admit he was a shill, and I can understand somebody not publicly wanting to do that. The only thing else I'll say is when he finally did pivot, he wrote like a 7-page takedown of Rings of Power, and it was really good. It was funny. I thought
Screw
maybe
that guy. Screw him.
Well, I don't think he wrote it. That's what I was getting at. I think he had, because he was basically retelling the story of Lord of the Rings from the point of view of the idiot decisions in Rings of Power. So it was like a comedy thing. And I compared it to other things he wrote, and I think he had somebody much more creative write that bit for him. That's where I was going with that. It is funny.
And this stuff just like makes me laugh even more today, because the truth is, anyone with any sense of scale, any sense of, I don't know, reality knows that Rey is the very definition of a Mary Sue.
The fact that he would write
to
this
claim that she's not is just ignorant and stupid.
He's not that stupid. He knows this was bullshit, and he told the company line.
Well,
but
he's
when he
ignorant.
saw that this wasn't working, he shifted on that too. I can't take a guy seriously like that.
Six, you're hilarious. You're killing me tonight, man. It's just like, in his defense, he has really bad asthma.
How do you know? Anyhow, and you had this situation. I once clicked. He has like a YouTube channel or something, which like he tries to promote in his articles, which is another reason why he started pivoting, because he thinks that if he'll be like the reasonable Forbes guy, people will watch his channel. Imagine you're a guy that's working for Forbes. You're pushing your own videos within your own articles for your own personal, YouTube, and I don't know. The whole thing just annoys me. But what I'm saying is, I once clicked on one of his videos, and he was like sitting there talking about like the critical drinker, and he made it seem like he and the drinker are like on the same playing field. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, as the drinker, I likes to say like this and this. I don't know what he said, and he kind of really annoyed me. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. I saw your articles. You said she wasn't a Mary Sue, and you said that Rings of Power is breathtaking. You lost all your street cred. You got no street cred. You can talk about the critical drinker all you want and say that you think it's an abomination. I don't believe this man at all.
How long have you been doing the Night Owl? Like 2 years?
I think I don't even remember anymore. How long have we been doing the Night Owl?
Well, I mean, you and I have been doing it for more than a year.
Right.
I think
Okay.
we
So
started
I
about
think
6 months before that.
Right. I think that the show has been around for like a year and a half. A professor and I, in this format, have been doing this for like a year.
That's close enough. Can you, and I say us in the whole, sort of, I don't know, fandom menace fellowship sense, but you particularly, can you think of any instance in that entire time where you weren't vindicated 6 months later after the big hubbub? There's never been a time when you and our opinions in general.
Only once.
Which one?
Only once, and I admit it, and I feel bad about it. There's one time that I messed up, and to date, I feel somewhat bad about it, but I don't know what to do to make up for it. When I saw the marketing for X-Men 97, whatever that was, I saw the interviews with Bo DeMaio that he was talking about how Kevin Feige hired him because he was an LG person, and because he was diverse and all this stuff. And everything he said in these interviews was like the worst thing anybody could ever say in an interview. And based on what he was talking about and everything that I was looking at, the material and even the trailer, I just said this thing is like, it's done. There's no, like, this thing is garbage. And I was sure of it. I was sure 100% that it would be terrible. And at the end, that wasn't the case, and I was wrong.
No, this
So
just makes you more right. And you want to know why?
why?
Because based on what you were going on, you were right. But as soon as the show came out and was instantly recognized as good, you fessed up to it, showing that you can actually have an open mind and you're not negative about everything. You were able
Right,
to
but
say, now that it's here, this is actually good. And
I
that
called it
shows you
wrong, though.
more authentic.
I
Yeah,
called it wrong, though.
yeah, but that's not what I was talking about. I'm talking about after it comes out, but before all the numbers are in. Like, it's just like the people shilling are always wrong 100% of the time. And 6 months, a year, 3 months, it always bears out that, yes, we were right. It's 10 years and The Force Awakens is still not a freaking classic, like they said. That's the thing. Time always bears out kind of our side of things. We're the ones with the receipts. We're the ones with the numbers. And we're the ones that after a while are proven to be correct. It's like the Democrats, all their predictions of doom and gloom never come true, but they never come back and say they were wrong. Oh, we're not at triple inflation. Oh, the economy didn't collapse. Oh, there's not a World War III. But we didn't, democracy hasn't vanished. We have more elections, but every time they say that shit, it never turns out happening. But when we talk about stuff, it always turns out that's the way it is.
Well, most of the time, I guess. I'm trying to think. It could be that I was wrong on something, but let's put it this way. You're right. Usually when... Oh, I see the Dead Man sent a super chat at some point, and I missed it. I'm so sorry, the Dead Man. I didn't notice it, and I'm going to share it now. By the way, CC Karaoke, if you're already here, I want to ask you a question. Are you still awake?
Oh, I'm
That's
here.
not
Yeah.
my question, but I'm just wondering if you're still here.
Yeah, I'm here.
So, did you notice that there's going to be a new anthology for the Beatles?
What, the 4 movies?
So basically, the anthology, the original one, the Dead Man wrote, "Payback is a bitch, Scrubs,"
Yeah.
and then there was something. What was I going to say? There was originally the anthology had 3 albums, like it was 3 CDs or 3, whatever you want to call it, and it also had like 8 episodes of like them talking about their career and things like that. Now they're releasing something new. I'm not 100% sure exactly. Is it just a CD? Is there more videos? Do you know a little more about that release?
I hadn't even heard of it. Barely. I saw maybe one
The
thing
reason
about it.
why it's interesting is that they basically, even those songs that they did with like the cassettes that they took of Lennon, like "Free as a Bird," "Now and Then," and "Real Love." You know those songs?
Yeah.
So they remixed them using like new AI that didn't exist before. So these kind of songs that had the noisy noises of John Lennon's cassettes,
Oh,
they
yeah.
somehow managed to remove it. And I've already heard how "Free as a Bird" sounds. I was kind of disappointed with it. Now and Then that came out in more recent years anyways. It never came out before, and that was all right, I guess. And now "Real Love" is going to be put through that process as well. So I don't know. Do you think that these new mixes are helping these songs, or what do you think about it?
I mean, all right, I haven't listened to them, so I can't give you an exact opinion on that. But what I will say is that I don't find AI to do any kind of a good job when you're talking about erasing the noise. You're talking like drawing people with 6 fingers or a third eye, or I don't mind a third nipple, but AI can't tell a nose from a toe. And anytime you try to process anything through it, it's just going to make errors. It's this weird, uncanny sheen. So if they're trying to clean these tracks up with AI, I don't know. It's like taking the film grain out of a movie. It's too clean. It's
For me, the
unnatural.
biggest problem is that with those songs that they did is that John Lennon, he didn't know that these songs were going to be Beatles songs. Most of them are him in the middle of the night putting like some cassette recorder next to a piano. He probably, drank some whiskey. Maybe he even did a few additional things. And he's sitting next to the piano mumbling into some cassette, thinking to himself, nobody's ever going to hear this. This is just me kind of putting a few ideas down. And the fact that they would take that and make them into songs, I always feel like it didn't really give him the full opportunity to sing the songs properly. He's John Lennon. He wouldn't have sang them that way if he knew it was a real recording. There's a difference, and I can say that about myself. And I'm not John Lennon. I'm not even like 1/millionth of John Lennon. But I'm saying, sometimes there have been situations that maybe late at night or like, I had a few beers. I just put a little cassette or even a cell phone or something next to a piano, and I'm sitting there and I just put some idea down. That's not something that I think that the public needs to hear. It's more like a reference for myself that I think to myself, oh, maybe I can develop this into a nice song. And the fact that they took this stuff from Lennon and they're doing all that, they did these songs over the years, I've always felt that they didn't give him like a fair chance. But on the flip side, I guess if they didn't do it, we wouldn't know these songs. So I don't know what to say.
They are trying way too hard to find a new Beatles song. I'll say that. I mean, it's like whatever he's doing in his bedroom at night, he's not performing.
He's hiding from Yoko, man. The booze wore off. He saw who's in bed with him, and he's like, I got to get out of here and go to the piano.
Yep. Whatever the remaining living Beatles are doing, he wasn't singing to this new performance, right? They're interpreting whatever it was he was doing. It's taking two things that are completely unrelated and smashing them together. So you say, hey, we got a new song.
I mean, the only thing I'll say on the plus side is that even John Lennon in the middle of the night, drunk, mumbling into a cassette, is still not the worst thing I've heard. It's still not the worst, but like I just feel like maybe they didn't do justice with him. I've always struggled with it.
Listen, we're not getting we're not getting new Beatles. That's fine. It's a precious limited resource. That's what makes it so. Yeah, if we kept getting more stuff, it would sort of just diminish. And let's face it, I mean, we've got a lot more than with most bands, and I'm pretty happy with it. You've seen the Peter Jackson thing, right? The 9-hour documentary.
I rather like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched it. I've watched it like 3 or 4 times straight through, and sometimes I'll put it on as I'm going to sleep, hoping that like I'll have a Beatles dream. Like it's really like I could watch that over and over, man. It's just amazing. Like we've had some Beatles talks on this stream, and we can go on forever about them, but I don't think I think it's futile to try to find more hidden tracks. I just learned to appreciate even more after 70 years the ones that I already have.
Yep. You're right, Isvos. We have had many talks about the Beatles, and you could go on forever, but you're not going to, since Price brought up the Beatles on the stream. It means it's time for a Beatles pop quiz.
Before we do that, Istafobos gave 5
trivial...
Price of Reason Live gift memberships.
Yes, he did. Thank you, Istafobos.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Taken directly from the official Beatles Trivial Pursuit. So this is we're going to go from.
Do you want to share it, or is it something that how does this work?
I'll just ask the question. It's going to come from the songs category. Let's see here. Which Beatles song has Shooby-Doo-Wop Bow backing vocals? Shooby-Doo-Wop Bow.
Hold on.
I think I know this one.
Baby, It's You.
Can I answer?
Yeah, what is it?
Your guess, Ista?
They say you want a revolution. Well, that was horrible, but I can't sing. So. I think it's Revolution.
Well, the actual title of the song is Revolution 1, but you are correct. Yes. So let's see. Let's get another one here.
Did they sing Shooby-Doo-Wop?
It's the backing vocals that are going on behind what's being sung. So let's see. All right, from American Tours. What tragic event happened just hours after the CBS Morning News aired its first feature on the Beatles?
Maybe I'm speculating here, but maybe Kennedy.
Okay. Any other guesses?
No, probably not. It's probably not
CC,
Kennedy.
CC or Ista?
I'm trying. I'm going to say Marilyn Monroe's death.
Okay, Price, you were right. You got it. It is the death or the assassination of President Kennedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was close. they're somewhat related.
Yeah, they
By the
are.
way, that was also the day that they filmed. They started filming the Gilligan's Island pilot, and that's why when you look at the beginning and then the black and white version, the flag is at half mast or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
Anyhow, go on.
Let's see. We'll do two more, and then we'll move on. So this one is from movies. So questions about Beatles movies. This should be an easy one. What was the name of the first official Beatles movie?
Oh, that would be a Hard Day's Night, I believe.
You are correct. That's a pretty easy one. Let's see. Let's do one more. We'll do it from a different category here. That one is impossible. You're not going to get that one. Okay.
He did the backing, he did the music in the show, but not the theme song. But yes, you're right.
Yeah, there's a whole category in here about just about all of the Beatles doing their own individual projects, and some of them I'm sorry, but I've never ever heard of that. Okay, so we'll do this last one here. So this will be from albums, the albums category. What song was on the B side of the '78 Capitol single, which was pulled from the Sgt. Pepper's album? So it's a song that was pulled from Sgt. Pepper's album. It was on the B side for Sgt. Pepper.
I think I know this one.
Wait, it was on the B side for the song Sgt. Pepper?
For the Sgt. Pepper single. But it was a B side that was removed from the album itself.
Oh, a B side that was removed, man. It couldn't have been. Strawberry Fields Forever was with Penny Lane, and those actually didn't make it to Sgt. Pepper, so it's not that. Sgt. Pepper, what was the B side?
Putin's cat's
Maybe All
been
You
on
Need
it.
Is Love. I don't know.
The A side was A Little Help from My Friends, right? And I think the B side was A Day in the Life.
You're correct. Yep. The B side was A Day in the Life.
I think I didn't understand the question. I thought that it was songs that didn't appear on Sgt. Pepper.
Well, that's what it says. It says pulled from the Sgt. Oh, maybe it means these were ones that were they were on the Sgt. Pepper's
I got it.
album,
I understand. I didn't understand the question. So
yeah, I was reading.
Ask me one more. Let me try to course correct here.
We'll do one more here. Let me.
Do you have a category sexual partners of the Beatles?
No. Let's see. Wait. Oh, dang it.
Give me a good one, Professor.
I dropped the card. Hold on.
Oh, you're actually the physical game?
That one's way too easy. Yes, I have the physical Beatles Trivial Pursuit. The official Beatles Trivial Pursuit. Let me grab a different card. Some of the last couple in there are either absolutely impossible or way too easy. For instance, what city gained worldwide attention as the home of the Beatles?
Liverpool?
Liverpool. Yeah, like everyone knows that.
I thought it was like a trick question. Like,
No,
that was a hard
too
one.
easy. Yeah, give one that's a little more interesting.
Way too easy.
Give one challenging one, and we'll leave it alone.
Okay. We'll do one more with albums here. This one's also a question about a single. What Beatles single sold over 5 million copies in the U.S. alone?
Which one? What were you saying?
Which Beatles single sold over 5 million copies in the U.S. alone?
Hey Jude.
I think it's I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Istafobos got it again. I Want to Hold Your Hand. The highest selling single from the Beatles.
But Hey Jude was like huge as well, right? Like
it was. Yeah, it was also a huge one, but it was not the biggest seller.
Can Price sing the chorus to Moonlight Shadow by Mike Oldfield and Maggie O'Reilly about John Lennon's June? It's a late hour, but it's something like carried away by a moonlight shadow, na 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 na. Carried away by a moonlight shadow, la 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 la. It's a crappy song, but something like that.
I think I actually wore out the album Tubular Bells when it came out from playing it. So I think I actually wore a groove into my turntable. That was so huge amongst, I'm not going to say hipster, but back then I was a young man and that was just one of the coolest things.
How like with a single for Hey Jude, how much did that sell? I always thought that one sold a lot.
I think
that was after the Beatles said that they were bigger than Jesus, and a lot of Christians didn't want to buy their albums anymore.
I mean, here, the single Hey Jude has sold approximately 8 million copies worldwide, with early figures of 5 million in 6 months.
That's worldwide.
Oh,
this was saying specifically the U.S.
I see. Sorry.
That's okay. We'll do. Well, I got one more for you. Then we'll move on.
Okay.
So let's see. This is another question from Movies. What song, whose title was shown in 11 different languages, concludes the film Yellow Submarine?
Something. No, 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 no. Means I love you. Something. Fuck, what that thing.
So they show that at the end of the film, they show the title repeatedly in different languages.
All together now.
That's it. That's what my guess.
That's the one. There you go.
Oh, okay. Now I'm going to have to listen to Beatles for an hour after the stream before I go to bed. I'm getting no sleep. At least tomorrow's Friday.
Finally, I bounced back with that.
There you go.
Is
I was going to say that one. That one's, if you remember the end of the movie, they keep flashing the title of the song up there in different languages.
Right. Yeah. Oh, there's a final thing on our docket that you need to talk about. I think.
Can I just say, Price, you have nothing to prove to any of us about your Beatles. How would you say? Your Beatle foo is very impressive. I've heard you go on for hours about it. You've got nothing to prove to me or anybody else. I'm betting.
Still, I don't want to be a sucker. So Assassin's Creed, there was this whole situation.
Oh,
where they wanted to have this,
so there's a game that they were going to be making. Let me see here. I do have something pulled up for that. Too many tabs.
I think I would have played this game if they made it. I certainly would have given it a look.
So it's funny because they actually did. I was chatting with someone on X earlier today because they were saying I thought they already made this game, but they did. There was already a game where they did have a black female protagonist in post Civil War times, but this was the idea that apparently was supposed to be the next game in the Assassin's Creed story. Was supposed to be a post Civil War game. It would happen during, of course, the Reconstruction period, and it was going to have a black man who had formerly been enslaved in the South, who becomes one of the series assassins, who would be the central character that you would play, and you would play the game hunting down the emerging Ku Klux Klan. That's the game.
Are you saying that Ubisoft actually made a sane decision? Because
I mean, the sane decision being to not make this game.
Yes. Because
remember,
they have George Floyd on the brain still.
Well, remember that Ubisoft is now owned lock, stock, and barrel by the Chinese. So there might be something that something to do with that entered into this decision. But says, according to interviews with 5 current and former Ubisoft employees who spoke to GameFile on condition of anonymity, they were not authorized to speak about the project. People were enthusiastic about the game, but were also frustrated by its cancellation, which they perceived as Ubisoft bowing to controversy. 3 sources told GameFile that word filtered through the company last July that management in Paris had stopped development on the game for 2 reasons. One, online backlash that sprang to the reveal of Yasuke, a historically inspired black samurai, which, by the way, the guy who's have you heard the latest about the guy?
He got kicked out of Japan, right?
Yeah,
They deported him.
he's been removed from his position at his university. His research has been basically thrown out, and he is no longer welcome in Japan. he's been removed. So he is an absolute disgrace. This whole thing about Yasuke was never real. He made the whole damn thing up. He faked sources that he used for his supposed historical research. He went out and created fake accounts so that he could go out and he could manipulate reviews for his books, and he could put go out and post stuff on Wikipedia under an assumed name and all sorts of stuff. He did all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, he footnoted himself, right?
He did
used
exactly
his own stuff.
yeah. So it was always BS. So historically inspired, literally inspired by 2 sentences saying that that this guy existed and was a retainer in Nobunaga's court. That's it.
Well, cheers to the Chinese for making a sane decision.
So yes,
we can only trust the Chinese now.
They were worried about having a second black protagonist, apparently, and they were also concerned about the political climate in the United States. That seems a little odd that they're saying this previous, not July of last year, but July earlier this year, worried about the political climate in the United States. Too political in a country too unstable to make it short. One source familiar with the game. Well, whatever, but still, yeah, this was a terrible idea for a game. And honestly, the Assassin's Creed series has been going downhill hard for quite some time. So this is not a
Assassin's Creed 2 might have been the last time it was actually any good.
Assassin's Creed 2 was really good, and then they had a couple of follow-ups that followed Ezio Auditore. Those were both really good. The whole Ezio series was really solid. It was really good. And then 3 I thought was really well done, aside from a few things here and there that didn't work, but it was still really good. But after that, the 4th one, which was focused on the pirates, you might remember that one worked really well just because the ship combat was so much fun. I did not imagine that running around in a ship on the ocean firing cannonballs and stuff was going to be as fun as it was. That game was solid. But after that, Stephen Mack just said it, Black Flag. Yeah, that was the last game that was worth playing. After that, everything fell apart. It went downhill fast. There were some amusing, fun little things that they did with a few of the games here and there, but Black Flag is literally, that's the last one I played all the way through. All of the others I gave a try here and there because they were free on PlayStation Plus or something like that, but I never bothered with any of the others since then.
Do you think what they're making now in a couple of years when it comes out is actually going to reflect a lowering of the ideological temperature, or do you think they're still on this kick to be, and I mean games in general, not just Ubisoft?
I have no idea. I really wonder how much control the Chinese are exhibiting over, because Tencent basically bought the company.
Yeah.
But then they've got a new branch that they've spun out for some of their biggest IPs. So I'm not really sure what to expect there, like how much control they're going to be exhibiting over those groups, or if maybe Ubisoft and its leadership have maybe learned a thing or two, and actually do want to get their companies back to being profitable again. But I think the word is that I think the next one that they have planned, the next Assassin's Creed game, what was no, I forgot what the next idea was. They had another one besides this version, this game that happened during the Reconstruction era. They had another idea that they were going to do, but honestly, with the Assassin's Creed stuff, I feel like it's just run its course. I don't know what else they think they plan to do with the Assassin's Creed series.
But do you think in gaming in general, like Control aside, do you think the developers have sort of lightened up a little bit, or do you?
Oh hell no.
Okay, that's
no. I don't think. I think if anything, the developers want to double down.
Yeah.
If you hear the talk that from different developers out there who are talking about the political climate in the U.S. and what they think. We're talking about recently we had at a game convention, they introduced a game that's about being a coyote and helping illegals get into the United States, and everyone cheered this. They thought it was the greatest thing ever. And no, I think the developers themselves, a lot of them, that so many of them now are they're just activists. They're not actually good developers anymore. They're activists first, and so yes, they want to push as much of this stuff as they can. Now that it looks like things are going to happen with EA, they're probably some of the ideologues that have been pushing stuff into other properties that EA has. Those people are probably going to end up getting shut down or pushed out, and they're going to try and actually make games people want to buy again. It's
the other challenge here is that we talk about games that have several years of development cycle. And you have a company that's completely infected. Even if as a company you decided you wanted to turn things around, you have to find new talent, and then you have to develop the game. You take a game that's already halfway into development and then restart it and hack it and chop it up into some kind of Frankenstein mess that never works, right?
Well, that's why I was asking.
And so that actually goes into this last article that I was going to share. I don't know how many of you might have seen some of this. This is a rumor, of course, but this has been going around today that there is some pretty solid rumors that Sony is ready to ditch Western studios. They're ready to cut the cord and move back to Japan and start working strictly with Japanese developers again. And this latest game, Ghost of Yote, which looks like it's probably a bomb. They haven't really come out with any real sales. There's been rumored sales figures so far, but no real sales figures to show us how well this game is doing. But it sounds like they are looking at the performance of Ghost of Yote and then this next game from Naughty Dog, Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophet. They're watching those games to see how those perform, and if those perform poorly, which Ghost of Yote looks like it's definitely going to, and Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophet, I'll be honest with you, I think it's dead on arrival. I don't think anyone cares about that game at all.
They didn't announce sales figures, but they did pull all of the marketing from Ghost of Yotei, which tells us that the sales are flat, that they're done, they're over. See, I think developers are kind of feeling backed into a corner, and they're coming out even, hyper woke, more like.
Yeah, they're doubling down because they're angry that they're not going to be allowed to put this stuff in there, so they're going to try to double down and try to force the hand of their companies to make sure this stuff ends up in there. So this was a source that is close to Sony that talked directly to that Park Place. I usually try and find the other articles that they're referring to, but this is actually a reporting from that Park Place, basically saying that this could be a major strategic reset. Saying both Ghost of Yotei from Sucker Punch and Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet from Naughty Dog are being viewed as the last chances for Western developers to land major exclusives under Sony's company direction. There's even some rumor potentially that they might be pulling a lot of the direction for PlayStation back from the Sony Entertainment North America, back from PlayStation North America, and bringing a lot of that back under their Japanese branch, and start building up their relationships with Japanese companies. And to be honest, I think that is the right move. Like we right now, we have so much of this Western media that is just so infected, so ruined by all of this stuff. I mean, the last Spider-Man game couldn't even help it, right? It was all shoved in there. And we're just seeing all of these Western studios collapsing. Well, on top of it, so finish my thought. So on top of that, if you look at the younger demographic right now, what are they obsessed with? They're obsessed with manga and anime.
Yeah, the foreign games are selling better. This will only limit their liabilities and increase their profits if they focus on Asian games.
They're interested in that media from Japan, the manga, the anime. They're going to be interested in games from Japan. And unfortunately, I will say this much. I do know that there's already some of these Japanese studios that are starting to they really got their hooks into the Western studios with all the woke and crap. So they're working really hard to try and get their claws into those Japanese studios. So hopefully, with the culture and stuff moving the way it is here in the US, we're going to cut that short. We're going to nip that in the bud, right? With those Japanese studios, but there's no telling, right?
Well, Empress mentioned like the woke infecting Japan, but they're getting a lot of political pressure to push back. Like, they just had a thing about the new LDB chief. Takaichi, and Prime Minister. They're talking about like maybe they're deporting the people in Japan pushing for Sharia law. They're talking about deporting them.
Yeah.
And making an official state. Like, it has no place in Japan. Like, you can practice your religion, but if you try to force it on somebody else, you're out of here. And so I think there's some pretty good political pushback against woke just coming in Japan. So even if they got their hooks, I think I think the government is far less tolerant than here, and they are putting their foot down.
Yep. So yeah, sounds like maybe Japan or the Japanese side of Sony might finally be ready to get rid of all these Western studios and just go back to sticking to Japanese media. And honestly, like I said, I think that's a great move for them. Start partnering with more Japanese studios. Japanese media is extremely popular, especially with the younger generations right now. I don't think they could have a better plan. So, yeah, that's all I got tonight, Bryce.
I think Japan may finally be regretting buying Columbia Pictures. Maybe not such a good decision.
All right. Well, I guess we've covered our topics for tonight. I want to thank our guests, Istophobos, thank you for joining us. And CC Karaoke, who I think may be the first time that he's joined us. Thank you, CC, for joining us.
Thanks
Thanks for
you.
having me.
Listen, I had a lot of, I have to say, ever since Charlie Kirk, I've been kind of really I've been feeling bad and fighting it. Tonight's like the first time I've really I really had a good time, and I want to thank you guys for that.
Well, we enjoyed hanging out with you, and thank you for coming on to talk about Tron Ares, and CC for just listening to our crap, and Professor, always a treat to have you here. Thank you, and to the wonderful people in the chat and everybody, thank you. There's some people on Rumble, like Istophobos, which was here also, Birdhouse Blues, Bingo Hazmat, Reach'em 842, Double R Star, Dude Bro Steph 420, Cheers, Empress NM, Rogue 12, Phantom Monk, CC Karaoke, Angelo DD, Go Trump USA, and Cool Mikey.
Yes, and as soon as the AI finishes, oh, there we go. I will have some names here for YouTube. So we were joined tonight by Adam Gray. Oh, come on. Badfoot Bunser, Caleb Levine, CC Karaoke, also over on YouTube, Davion Donaldson, David Costin, Ercole DiStefano, Faye, Gavin Blackburn, Istophobos, that name's familiar, Jason Webster, Jim Noxious, Jonathan Conroy, Judge Death, Justin Channels, Captain Krypton, Keely Chow, Marla Sharondoff, Mary White 2.0, the incredible Mary White, thank you, Mary, Matthew McGee, Mur Rockstro, Norfolk Fords, Phaser 1X, Putin's Cat, Raccoonius the Great, Rebecca Gold. Great to see you here tonight, Ian. Read by Nature, Sean Green, Six. Always nice to be joined by Six. Stephen Mack, Tex Rogers, The Dead Man, The Real Sean Crummell, who was also on the show with us tonight. It was great to see Sean again. Thomas Payton, Tim Hayes, Tomahawk 511, Yitis, and Zune RJ5. Thank you all for being here this evening. It's wonderful to see everyone. Thanks for joining us over on Rumble, and those of you joining us over here on YouTube. So yeah, we got anything to plug?
Only whatever you want. You want B-roll stage or whatever.
Okay, yep,
CC,
I think
if you have something, or Istophobos.
No, just come say hi to me on Twitter, same name, and we're gonna do B-sides tomorrow night, which should be a lot of fun, and some, some really interesting old movies. Let's just say sometimes we get a really good one. It's not all.
Yeah, and Adam's posted the link there, so come and hang out with us tomorrow night. I believe we're talking Ed Wood for Ed Wood's birthday. Watching an Ed Wood film,
nice.
So on. So
Nice.
yeah, we'll be hanging out, watching a little bit of Ed Wood film, and just hanging out on a Friday. And Price is going to come in and join us on Halloween.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is
it's
happening.
going to be fun. I think we're doing a Vincent Price of Reason night on Halloween.
Well, I hope we saved people some money, maybe ones that were considering going to the movies this weekend. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
Tron
thought maybe we made it sound so fucked up that it was interested, like that they're curious.
Now they have to see it, yeah.
Yeah, wait 30 days. It'll be on streaming.
CC Karaoke is on the way to the theater now.
I am?
To see Tron Ares.
Oh. The home theater. The
I don't think you're gonna watch it at all. I think you're not gonna waste your time.
I'm
with
not.
It.
I can't wait
Maybe
to
a
hear
bootleg.
Ian's review.
It was shit, wasn't it? Is it Greta? Anyhow, yeah, it was great hanging out with everybody. Thank you to the guests. Thank you to the chat. And as always, we're here every Tuesday and Thursday at 11:45 p.m. Eastern on the Night Owl. And we'll see you here next week.
Take care,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.